right, we got things moving. We're gonna get things going, and all right, well, we jumped in a little faster than anticipated on that one, Hayes. Already one round in, but a strong round, I guess, for Supernova Comets is the way things have started.
I mean, we're going to have to pull out the crystal ball for that one to figure out what happened in the pistol. What we do know for a fact is that Supernova Comets have opened up their account first. Now, this is Marca Registrada's map pick. And we know that the next map is Nuke, which is normally their perma ban. So there's going to be quite a lot on the line. I mean, we talk about win conditions sometimes, and I feel like Marca Registrada winning here on Anubis is certainly one of those factors.
I absolutely agree with you, and it's made even harder by starting on the CT side. That's not the easier, more preferable side to this map, which is maybe a tragedy, considering that they need it so badly. Regardless, it is a forced buy-in. Marca Registrada want to keep up the pressure. Has Empathy gone for...
It's a P2K.
Is she doing the Valorant? This is what I call the Valorant, by the way. Where you just, where you save and have like a default pistol with armor.
The problem is you're expecting to play against an eco then, right?
Correct. Yeah. I think it's a little ambitious.
Yeah, let's see if it's going to be a costly one. STX doubling down, though, certainly will bode super well for the cause. Yeah, even found a third, okay. Yeah, Empathy, not going to have to break a sweat, not going to have to worry that perhaps she made a mistake by not investing into the round, of course. Looking forward to, I guess, dropping the AWP later on, perhaps? There we go, she will fall, but Raven gets the trade straight afterwards. Nice little double up setup between the two of them. And that is going to be a clean 2-0 start now heading into the anti-eco.
Yeah, and listen, as much as I was saying, like, there can certainly be some criticisms there, well, now you have a bunch of extra cash, and you know that they were force buying last round, so everything's gone for the Mac 10, maybe farm up a little bit of extra additional cash on the back of that. So, works out a treat for her, ultimately. Marca Registrada.
Yeah, best case scenario.
Thought maybe they would go for some sort of stack, but 3 towards B, a little bit more standard, even considering it's just pistols this round.
I will say I feel like they've overspent slightly here by investing into some of these Desert Eagles. Majestics in particular, buying down to 1,400 means it's $2,400 going into the next round. Gonna have to be like an MP9 or a FAMAS, and I think that for me is an issue, because you got to roll the dice with the force buy in the previous round. You don't really have that luxury of going in and dipping your toes as deep as he has here in the follow-up round, because then the thought process is, okay, we lost the pistol, let's force up in the second round, eco third, and that means when the first gun round comes around, we have everything we need, right? We got the AWP, we got full M4s, full utility, but they're not going to have that luxury now, because I think they've just spent a bit too much here in the eco.
Yeah, I mean, when the whole argument about the upside of that force buy is we can win the round, but also round 4 is going to be particularly good on the purchase, and then that isn't the case. Like, you're almost taking the risk without the reward. But to be fair, if you could save this and get a couple of exits, doesn't make the decision any less puzzling, but it does. It does work out a little bit better. And they're not looking. They don't know. They have no idea. Majestics is going to get another one. How about $600? How about maybe a save onto something else? Empathy is saying no thanks to that. But at the very minimum, I think Majestics has corrected the record. That $650 Kevlar that was maybe the overspend, that was made back.
Yeah, and also they got the 2,900 hours off by a mark there. So that also certainly does make a difference. You'll see they'll get pretty much everything they need coming into the round here. AMC, I heard you call him AMC in the pregame, so are we going with AMC for him?
No, I must have just had a flub there.
I'm not so concerned about it. We could go with either, but
AMC
precisely which one.
is
AMC?
correct.
Okay, alright. Well, he's got the AWP nice and early on, posted on the angle. Oh man, just moving ever so slightly as the peek comes through from Empathy, so doesn't have the accuracy necessary, and Supernova Comets, as a result, have actually closed the gap in on this B-bomb side.
Yeah, they've really gotten into position to go for this exec very fast, but there's 3 players here. Marca Registrada in pretty good stead to actually make a real hold of this. B1 and spamzzy both have a nade as well, so that could be placed doubled up. Currently worried about the E-box side of that. spamzzy with the victory down low. And it's a little disjointed right now from the Comets. They still have some semblance of E-box here with STX, and that's important. STX falling away. Now the rest of the team has to come back in. STX will catch spamzzy. spamzzy and B1 alone, but gone in an instant. AMC has tried to bring this back, but it's still a big advantage for the Nova Comets.
Oh, yeah, huge advantage for them. I mean, it's going to be really tough to try and break back into the retake here. There's no kip between them either, so time is of the essence right now. Couple flashes and a few HE grenades. There's no, like, crowd control utility either to try and block off E-Box or B main. Time continues to tick away, and it does look like they're going to be committing quite a lot here to feel this retake out. They're going all in. The save is not an option. Orp now posted on the angle, but it's such a good timing on the peak from Raven, but from the grave, Amsi actually gets a frag. Jardini is so low and doesn't realize STX is also in towards E-Box. 9-0 for her. What a blistering start, because she was the key that unlocks that B-bomb side from E-Box.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if STX doesn't get that double kill in E-Box, then this round doesn't start in towards the B side at all. There was no way to get back through if it were not for her, and I think maybe a slight mistake or missing piece of the communication there for Marca Registrada, because she got both her kills from E-Box. I think, might have had an inkling that that was going to be E-Box to finalize that, but no, not the case, and it's attack timeout called, the back of losing that first gun round. Opportunity for AMC that falls by the wayside, and though he's the one that maybe gives the chance to retake, it's still not quite the victory.
Very good start for Supernova Comets on their opponent's map pick here. 4-0, pistol, anti-force, anti-eco, and now the gun round as well. And you're bang on the money. I don't think there was any way into that B-bomb side if it wasn't for STX's heroics, because Marca Registrada, they had 3 players on that B-bomb side. Excuse me, they were really well poised to deal with what was coming their way. And STX was still able to just kind of brute force her way through. Of course, now Max Round lost bonus behind the CT side, so they can afford to dig a little bit deeper into their pockets, upgrade the pistols, Kevlar around them, B1 even has the MP9.
Yeah, I mean, the hope is that you can transition that into some sort of victory. I'll let spam, though. I like the activity at the very least. The 5-7 gets a dual escape made as well. Hold on a second. Majestics, didn't think would have the opportunity to get out of there. Should be able to shuffle that gun out of the map more than likely, so that it's not recoverable at minimum. And still very strong map control for Supernova Comets. They can essentially decide to go wherever they would like.
As long as they do it together.
Correct.
That way you avoid getting picked off one by one and maybe falling foul to this kind of an investment. Marca Registrada do have to go for a bit of a gamble here because of the fact they do have the deficient weapons. And unfortunately, they've bet on red, and it looks like it's going to land on black here as Supernova Comets start to shift in towards the, say, bomb side. Jardini, the only player here, and they now realize what's going on because they have smartly pushed through B mains. They've gotten all the info, so they can start to kind of get ahead of the game with this rotation, but unfortunately, it's going to have to be a retake.
Yeah, that is a kit that's just been dropped outside of camera, to be fair, so if some sort of miracle starts to happen where, empathy goes down in middle, and they could collect that, then start having a conversation. At the moment, though, it's going to be quite difficult, especially these deep positions inside of a main. Very strong from a post-plant perspective, and that's the crux of it. With empathy taking spamzzy down, this is dead in the water. And the Supernova Comets take advantage. This is a map they like, and that's, another one of the reasons that we've been talking about this veto and how questionable it is. Not only a map that the Comets love, but a map that they get to start the T side on.
And they're doing a fantastic job of it as well. I mean, probably the most favored half in the map pool, I'd say. It's got to be between this and the CT side of Nuke, but I think the C side of Anubis has more going for it. I guess conversely, a better way of putting the points is that the CT side of Anubis is probably the most difficult half in the pool at the moment. So even though it is 0-5 for Marca Registrada, it's still a great opportunity for them to recover in the half. That is not a great way to open up this all-important gun round, and it's been made even worse by STX, who's gotten another 5v3.
And look at this reaction from Marca Registrada. They have to just entirely spread back out. They've lost so much of the map off the back of that. And at the moment, Majestics just has to sit on the B site. Mid control lost. That just taken a moment to look back at by AMC. And then B1 over on A. And that's who's going to be targeted here in a moment. He's going to be under fire. I like the activity. Marca Registrada taking space, but it's too little too late.
Yeah, good util usage as well. I like how Supernova Comets are kind of crossing all their T's and dotting all their I's even when they have got the 5v3 advantage. It's not like they're thinking, oh well, we can just run into the bomb site here haphazardly and finish off the job, not leaving anything to chance. And if there is any world in which the CT side can retake it, it's going to be predicated off of B1 finding something. He's going to have to activate here, and as he peeks out, he spots 2 heads. Really good lockdown in the bomb site here from the T side. AMC eventually going to get a kill back, but the round is just way too far gone at this point. Step's going to be heard. MVP just wants to try and finish it off in style, but Serendipity will. And that's going to be 6-0. Another gun round going the way of the T side.
I mean, at that point, what are those kills worth, though, for Marca Registrada? Basically nothing. You know, at a different point in the game, you could maybe talk about getting a couple of exits and winning that. There's no value there. Instead, they lose the gun. Their next buy going to be very problematic. I don't even know what this exactly looks like. EMZ just keeping money for the op, while everybody else goes pretty much full into this purchase. Supernova almost haven't been tested. They just have this early default that's been very effective at catching any aggression, and there it goes again. Giordani relatively alone and gets punished.
Yeah, in this sort of a round, you do feel compelled to make a play on the CT side when you've got this kind of lower investment. I guess they've actually full force check, excuse me. They've decided to go all in on everybody bar AMC. This is a big roll of the dice from Marca Registrada. And I'm not actually a big fan of it. I think CT side Anubis, you don't want to start to get panicky and think, we're down 6-0, we might as well just start force buying because it's getting out of control. I think even if you can get 3 rounds rock bottom bare minimum out of the half, you're still in with a chance if you can get the pistol and the conversion in the next half. Either way, Majestics goes searching. Serendipity's timing is so good there from the balcony. And it's just all falling into place right now. Util has been classic in terms of what you expect from North America. Seen a few missed pieces, but they're hitting the shots and that more what matters.
Yeah, and especially when, to be honest, it's been at times where the little bits of misutility you're talking about don't matter even. That's a little tragedy for spamzzy. Exactly. And I think you've nailed it as well with regard to got to be careful not to panic, because I'm in agreement. Like, 3 rounds, it's not great, but definitely viable on the CT side of this map. But it does feel like Marca Registrada have somewhat panicked a little bit. Like, I just don't understand what the plan was. This money is so uneven. Like, now we've had 2 buys that are kind of bad.
There's 2 broken buys, really.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
There's 2 force buys that are, like, pretty decent, but not great.
Sure.
I'd much prefer just having one real one.
Yeah, and they're really light on utility now, which just limits them for options so massively coming into this round, because something we haven't seen from them yet. We have seen some early sort of plays being made where they doubled up in E-box to fight canals, but I'd like to see them smoke T stairs and then maybe collapse into canals from both E-box and A main at the same time, try and take that space away from Supernova Comets, maybe try and take the fight to them a little bit, because turtling in the bomb site hasn't worked. We haven't seen that option where they do try and fight in the front foot, which you can get away with on Anubis, so let's see if there's going to be some sort of a change up in the approach.
Well, and when they have done that, when they have looked to fight on the front foot, it's been singular. Been relatively solo endeavors trying to do that alone. We saw that last round where Giordani is just trying to get aggressive in A main. Just doesn't work out.
Yeah, so it looks like they instead are going to prioritize just kind of giving up that space early on here. Guess they didn't really have the util coming into the round to go for any other option. I've got this 2-man setup in towards E-box right now. Nice nade to chunk down STX. There's going to be a follow-up. And STX has been a huge headache for them so far. She's 14-1, so all this util damage is certainly going to aid their cause.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because she's continued to farm from where we first kind of talked about her performance, 9-0 or some such is what that scoreline looked like. She's about to receive a little bit of support. Big win for Giordani that in mid. There was nothing to really facilitate that fight, yet Giordani wins it.
This is looking good here for the CT side to find their first round. As I say that though, Raven will get one through the smoke. Not the first she's found through the smoke. And STX is now taking that space in E-box. Got Empathy in tow. There's a lot of pressure starting to mount up on this B bomb site. They've also smoked off Temple, so rotation's difficult to get in towards B, but Giordani has managed it. Majestics times his peak really nicely, but Serendipity will be able to adjust, and I love that she doesn't overcommit to the swing there. Eventually will figure out B1 still on the bomb site. Time ticking away, but Supernova Comets still not getting ahead of themselves. I love their composure and their patience, even when they have an advantage.
Yeah, you've really... that's exactly what I'm thinking. I guess see if AMC has an option here. Oh, that's going to make life even more difficult. At least just pick up the frag. Fox is gone. But look at the two locations. Serendipity tucked. Raven has no reason to start to swing until there's the bomb tapped, or she hears her teammate being pressured. Kit required and recovered. At the very minimum time becomes an issue in Serendipity. What a hero this round that she is.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, the poise that she shows, not overswinging, not overstepping, being able to adjust and just be a threat without over committing to a fight and allowing the rest of her high HP teammates to get into the site proper once she realizes that it's still staffed by B1. Those are decisions that win that round for Supernova Comets outside of just the shooting. Which, of course, she does very well. She picks up a triple.
I feel like that's actually been what's most impressive about this run of success for Supernova Comets. Has not just been predicated off of them winning out the early duels and steamrolling the round from there. There's even been moments where they haven't had much going for them, but they've still been able to make something out of nothing. 8-0, this is a blistering start, and well, Marca's Registrada looks like they're just going to persist with the Force Buys. It's really only AMC who saves any of money so that he can get an ore plate on down the line, but yeah, they're just going to continue to go all in here.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I think that this is playing like you've already lost at this point.
Agreed.
It's not putting your faith in your gun rounds. I guess maybe if you can get something going with the pistols that can buy you some time. Fortunately for AMC, it's just the singular kill there. Gonna walk into A. Giordani has a big ticket rifle at the very least. Oh, but checked by Serendipity. A fantastic shot. B1, maybe Serendipity a little low, so can have that opportunity. But that's exactly what you've been talking about, though, with regard to the decision-making, allowing first and foremost high HP player to take that first frag, and STX just continues to dominate. 17-2.
Yeah, this is a fantastic display from Supernova Comets. They've pitched up with a statement of intent with the way they've opened up here on Anubis. And this is their opponent's map pick as well, that they're loving life. I mean, this is just a dominant display. In complete control from the word go. Yeah, get that Galil out of there. No need when you're just balling out the way they are right now. Quintuple digits on a number of their players. They'll just be able to buy for the rest of the map regardless of what happens. This has to be the round. We were talking about how 9-3 kind of feels like rock bottom bare minimum. That means they have to win the 3 rounds left remaining. It's going to be on hard mode. I just mentioned how much money the T side still has left. So 3 gun rounds, Flash is good. Giordani completely blinded, and Serendipity takes full advantage.
I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Marca Registrada look lost. They look like they just have no idea what they're doing right now.
And it's their map pick, which is even more concerning.
It truly is. And I say that because they're getting caught in like normal scaling utility right there for A. It just feels like they aren't anticipating anything here, and they're getting smacked in the face because of it.
Yeah, it just seems like the basics from Supernova Comets so far have been enough to just get the job done. Gonna be a strong execute in towards the same bomb site. spamzzy gonna get kind of forced backwards by, again, really good util usage here from the T side. Bomb carrier successfully gets across, C4 starts to get activated. Now it's gonna require a retake. No kit can play barely util, so it's gonna be tough.
Missed shot, though, from Fox might allow a little bit of option. Serendipity alone. STX, I think he's just heard Majestics coming around. That puts AMC on the 1v2. Starts off strong. Doesn't have a kit currently. Goes over to the AK and one-tapped STX. Nutty from AMC. That is their first round, and it happens like that.
Yeah, what a way to get around on the board as well. That's just a moment of individual brilliance from AMC, and I'm really glad that he was the one guy who was having some economic management in these past few rounds, so he could get the AWP out here, and boy, does it make a difference. Delivering the goods, 11-9. I mean, he's the one guy who has kind of been able to go toe-to-toe with Supernova Comets so far. Great stuff coming through from him. They're just trading for the AK, landing that instant shot. And I couldn't even fault, was it STX or Serendipity in A main? Because in that instance, they're trying to get ahead of the 1v1, right? They're trying to step out and go for the unexpected option.
Yeah, it was STX, and I would agree with you. We're just going to speed things up. We've been slow. Very much a game about the default, and now we're just in their face. That's what Supernova Comets are looking to do. Raven puts Giordani down at B1 many a time that he's kind of had to just sit here and wait at half wall, looking to try and maintain space. The rest of his team can't arrive in time. Raven ensures that. A double kill, double entry for her onto the A site, and she's just playing with her food a little bit. STX handles business. spamzzy gets through, and that should be something, but it ends in nothing. How about a 1v5 AMC? Got a clutch last round? I don't think so.
Yeah, certainly not going to happen. Serendipity just runs him down as well. 10-1. What a brilliant response there from the T side after dropping their first round. Like you were highlighting, man, we haven't seen that drastic change of pace yet from Supernova Comets. What they've been doing, just working the map, has worked so well for them throughout Anubis so far. And then they just completely change up the approach at the perfect moments, and it works out perfectly for them. Everybody just fully committed to the cause. And now they've racked up double digits inside the first half, and a really good chance to go up to 11 now playing against 4 MP9s.
Yeah, these MP9s just haven't been able to do much of anything. There's been so many instances of them. Giordani maybe changing that, though. Fox, a refrag, but that's towards E-Box, gets all the way deep, and I seem to recall you talking about maybe wanting to see something like this, like 5 rounds ago. They finally do. Marca Registrada take the time to go for a full canal take with the smoke to T steps and everything, but it only nets them the 1 kill. They don't have the requisite utility to hold on to this forever.
Again, it's one of those rounds where things kind of stall out a little bit, but Supernova Comets start to just work the map. I guess in this instance, they actually don't have a huge amount of control. Have a look at... I was going to say, there's a player who's pushed over the bridge and towards middle, but Forks, just with fantastic awareness, isn't going to get caught off guard. Just really good awareness. Marca Registrada still stand a chance, though. Their 2 players left alive are both over on the B bomb side. It's exactly the T side ahead. Damage is being done. AMC is going to find the multi with the MP9. It's just Empathy left alive, and she does know that B1 was here, but he's been able to just move his way into the corner. This could be unexpected. Did Empathy catch a glimpse? Doesn't matter because B1 takes the head.
And at that, we're going to head to a quick break. The scene is set. It's very much clear that we could be seeing a incredibly dominant Supernova Comets just walk away with an early victory on this one. 10-2 in the first half, Hayes. That's what's set up. Only need 2 rounds to hit 12 here on the CT side. I feel like that should be the case.
It should be the case. I kind of had a bit of an inkling that, I don't know, I haven't seen a huge amount of their games, but sometimes it feels to me that maybe Supernova Comets do sometimes struggle to close out their games when in these really advantageous positions. Can't afford for that to happen here. In complete control as things stand, and they've got a storm to weather on this B-bomb side.
Well, and it's Raven first up to bat. She's going to take some flak, but fall back. Staying alive, that's critical. Empathy already in the back line and cutting down Majestics with even more to come through. She's got backup. They try and take the fight to E-Box. Raven stands tall, at least for some time, and it is enough time where Serendipity can get up close with Empathy's support. It is a quick and easy pistol round there for Supernova Comets. They get into the back line and they fight aggressively, barely letting Marca Registrada set their feet there for the post plant.
Yeah, and with that goes any concern of them not closing out the game from that super advantageous position they were able to get themselves into off the back of the first half. What a first half it was as well if you're just joining us. From start to finish, and it's not like Supernova Comets ran a billion different strats on that T side. I feel like they just did the basics incredibly well, and it's kind of similar to what we see in the pistol round here. Just a good retake, strong flank from Empathy. Although Raven, I'm not sure if she actually got a kill. I don't think she did, but no, she certainly stayed alive for long enough there and got the info that there were 2 players E-box. In the meantime, her teammates just mop up everybody else, and then they've got the info necessary to finish it off.
I mean, it's a good default and strong mid-rounding. That's what gave Supernova Comets such a dominant T-side off the back of that. And listen, we can't undersell STX having a ridiculous 20-4 performance as well. I think that would be unfair, but pretty much everyone having a good game too. That'll help things out, especially when your in-game leader is having such a phenomenal one.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for Amsi, then this might already be over. It looks like there's a huge amount of life left in this one. Big hits towards the A-bomb side. Damage has been done. Serendipity will get overwhelmed. And I think the first responder is able to get 2 back, though. Somehow still alive. Eventually will go down, but buys time for this big double flank. spamzzy does smartly tuck himself in behind the bomb side. Barely any room to maneuver, though. The incendiary, the AG, it's going to combine to the back of him. It's just B1 left, and it's a double peek to get him as well.
Yeah, how the hell Empathy somehow managed to get a double kill off the back of that is just beyond me. Probably should not have been allowed to do that, but she does. Some stunning shots in that MP9, but that alongside the swift response, the double flank as you highlight. Marca Registrada, I hate to say it, even though it's their map pick, this is a, GG go next moment. Try and forget about this.
It's kind of felt that way for a while, even since they started fully committing to the force buys really early on in that first half as well. For me, that was almost just a sign of the white flag being waved. Empathy does get the info, 1 drops down. That's going to call Raven into action. Molly forces Majestics forward, and Raven's not going to want to watch that one back. B1 also, a bit of a scrappy skirmish, will come out on top of the fight with Empathy. 2-man advantage now for Marca Registrada, but 2 of their players are, well, I mean, limping is even generous at this point.
Everyone's here. Supernova Comets, that's a little bit scary, but somehow, some way, they'll turn it around. Fox ends up catching that kill. Thought spamzzy had the advantage, but did not. Fox is going to catch another one. The bomb has just been recovered. It was back in spawn. Donnie, take your gun out. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Can hear her stomping around, but yet still not prepared for that swing. So now the bomb is stuck in no man's land. Where do you go? How do we get it onto the site, as we've just lost so much in form of manpower and map control?
If only they had the bomb on the back of one of those players in the A-bomb side initially. And now we got flanks on flanks. Amsi's making his way through CT spawn, through beach, and then backstabbing that A-bomb side. This should never be anticipated. In the meantime, B1's been told to just hang about. Problem is, Amsi's chasing Ghost right now, and B1 only has, well, the clues in the name, 1 point of health.
This is a great reaction too. Supernova Comets, they're just grouping together. They're clearing space as a unit to a certain degree. Fox is a little separated, sure, but that's okay. She's maintained control towards B. This is a little bit of a gamble, though. They didn't catch the cross, and they're thinking, okay, well, we didn't see anybody canal. Maybe they're grouping outside of B. That's not the case, but that'll be fine. Now they got plenty of time to set up and facilitate this retake with 3 kits.
And they have to make it work, no two ways about it. I mean, this is always supposed to be their round in the 5 versus 3. Supernova Comets, strength in numbers for them. First frag found from B1, but was never going to be able to avoid the play. I really like this from Amsi, but it's been somewhat read into by Forks. Serendipity has got a kit, by the way. She's just dropped a smoke on the bomb. She could look to stick this. Oh no, she can't find the C4 in the smoke. The smoke hadn't gone deep enough. And it's going to be Amsi to clutch again to get another round for his team.
I mean, it's 3 rounds, and basically all of them are courtesy of AMC for Marca Registrada at the very minimum. That being said, man, a little bit unlucky there. B1 does the maximum with 1 HP. You got to give him credit. Such a committed angle. 3 players sprinting at you, and he hits the headshot required so that he at least gets the 1-for-1. Makes it a 1v2 for AMC, which is, of course, far more winnable, far more approachable than what would have been a 1v3.
Oh, absolutely. That's a good point, actually, yeah. Seemed like there was a little bit of panic in the 1v1 there from the half player left alive for Supernova Comets. Either way, it is going to be Marcus Registrada looking to try and keep themselves alive for a little bit longer. Feels like these rounds should just be kind of a formality. I mean, a comeback from here is basically unfathomable, but you can kind of just like save face a little bit, right? And improve kind of the mood in the camp going into the next map with a few rounds here.
I think you need more than a few for the mood to improve any, but sure. They can get a little bit further on. I want to know how long AMC is going to maintain the stat where he has as many or more kills as the rest of his team combined. Because that's been the case for a while.
Oh, okay, well, there's Serendipity just offering herself up on a silver platter. Fox is going to look to track and trace. Might affect the trade, and she will, but just not in time there to get the kill to keep Raven alive. That's unfortunate. And while they do go into the A bomb side, I don't even know if Fox is going to be too keen to feel this one out. So quite a few rounds where Marca Registrada probably would have been just better off saving their guns instead of attempting what almost felt like hopeless retakes. Yeah, I don't think Fox wants to make the same mistake. That's a really quick shot there coming through initially, and it hits the follow-up as well. My God, Fox, she's just made something out of nothing. Should never expect the flank, but that's a big problem, and without the kit as well. Desperately clearing out the angles, but this is surely futile. She's going hunting, and the fact that she hasn't found anybody here means she probably just has to accept her fate in the round and try and get out of there. What a good attempt, though.
Oh, she does escape. Okay, I mean, that at minimum is good news. Still, I think the fact that this became a winnable round for Fox is a clear indicator of the struggles for Marca Registrada. Just honestly not respecting some of the basics right now. No need to take these fights. I understand you're looking to hunt down an op, but it's 12-4. There's no need. This is a mistake that won't end up necessarily punishing them, but one that does facilitate Supernova Comets going for another force buy here. I think if Fox doesn't get those extra kills, I think they save.
Yeah, almost certainly, right? Serendipity, a lot of pressure early on in towards the A bomb side. Has got some support, but the flashes are so good. Oh man, Jardini sure gets both the kills, but Majestics is the one who deserves the credit.
Yeah, perma blind. Both players on A side for the Comets gone in an instant thanks to that. The MAC-10 that closes distance fast. They'll save these 3 weapons, and it will be that eco round that we were discussing on whether or not maybe should have been this round or whatnot. That'll be coming up next.
Yeah, I don't really mind the force, like you said, the back of the kills that Forks got carrying the AWP over forcing around it, especially when it's 12-4. You've got more leeway to go for these sorts of decisions. It would be really nice if they could keep all 3 of these guns in play, though. Certainly give them a little bit of firepower to work.
What do we...
And that should be afforded to them.
Marca Registrada are currently AK delivery services right now.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, you're right.
I did not mind at all the MAC-10 of Jardani going for that hunt. You know, big kill if they can find Fox, but beyond that, I don't know that they had any need to give Raven this AK, because she's got armor to back it up.
Yeah, I mean, the butterfly effect is a real thing. Let's watch that AK closely coming into the 18th here and see if it's going to have any impact on the outcome of the round. I feel like those sorts of things are often overlooked in Counter-Strike. Like, let's say they lose the round to the AK here. No one's thinking, well, we gave up the AK by hunting unnecessarily. Those dots are often unconnected. but they're very real, very prevalent.
Fox really wants to stick around. She's waiting out this utility, and she's going to go back for B1 in a moment.
I do like it. She kind of realizes that, hey, I've got the big gun in the round here. I got to make the big play.
Also, a lot more utility being heard and seen. Kill towards B alongside it. Calls her back over. Some support. Serendipity doesn't have any weapon to work with, and Empathy right behind, but Giordani handles both of them with ease.
Okay, so all's well and ends well. They've been able to avoid both the AWP and the AK, so no problem in terms of getting across the line here in the round. And in fact, the AWP has been dropped. I mean, Forks should have enough money to reinvest into it. Little bit of a rejuvenation here for Marcus Registrada in these past 2 rounds. Some convincing wins for them. It'll certainly just bolster their confidence. Like, hey, look, guys, this is doable. Raven should get sidelined here momentarily.
Okay, hold on a moment. They are hunting her. She's got some space to work with. I mean, she could hang on to that, would be fantastic. I think worth it to try and remove that AK now that they have a little bit of cash. Marca Registrada, not as good as I was hoping, though, to be honest with you. So actually, maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. They're gonna have AKs for everyone, but there's no option. I don't even think for an op. Regardless, I want to hold back on saying maybe this is a possibility because Marca Registrada, they win that clutch, and then since then they haven't really played against a full gun round.
Yeah.
So this is a telling round for the chances of Marca Registrada to make this.
Oh, absolutely. That's a really good point that you highlight. They've only won a single gun round in this little streak of a fight back. So this is going to be a big test for them. If they can win this, then we maybe start to even open up the conversation for a comeback at that point. See if they can make it happen now. A bit of a contest in towards E-Box. Raven looking to support Forks is going to be able to get a kill, but goes down immediately afterwards.
Marca Registrada have options. Kill for Giordani would be massive, but Empathy shuts him down. So there was a chance to reposition to go back towards A. That's now not possible. They've got to commit towards B. STX. Tough spot for her to be in. Stuck between 2 AKs, one on either side, and Empathy set to try for this clutch. A 1v3, though. At least a kit and a smoke.
Yeah, could make a massive difference here. Just patiently waiting, hoping that something gets offered up, but Marcus Registrada just locked into their positions. Empathy will spot out one on the platform, but that's just going to induce the peak to come through from the teammates. 12-7, gun round successful. And I will say, I feel like Forks looked really uncomfortable on the B bomb site. They're just never really able to get herself into a position where she could just line up an angle or feel any sort of confidence. Was constantly just moving and shifting about there and gets caught in transition.
Yeah, and I think that's partially due to how much chaos Marca Registrada were able to sow over the course of that round. It was super confusing about like what was happening, what the reactions were, and because Giordani was being a thorn in the side over on A, and even though he goes down, it's a little bit of a confusing round, all things considered. Attempted crunch towards Canal, but it's just not. There's not really the utility to facilitate it.
I mean, I will say, Marcus Registrada almost looking like a completely different team, even the way that they're shooting right now. Because they were even struggling to hold their own in that department in the previous half. You can see here they're looking a lot hotter, looking a whole lot warmer in the server as the map's gone on. And at this point, they're just going to be left saying, oh man, if only we got a few more rounds out there first half. If only we hadn't just persisted with the force fires and gave ourselves a bit more of a chance. Because this still feels like one of those situations where it's inevitable that Supernova Comets should be able to just trip over the finish line, right?
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I also think that I'm happy that Supernova Comets are not doing the same thing that we saw from Marca Registrada, where started making bad economic decisions that make a bad situation worse.
Sure, yeah. Certainly didn't help themselves in some of those investments, but they are now 4 rounds away from overtime. Gun round here, lose that, 12-9, anti-eco 12-10. There's basically 2 full gun rounds between where we are now and overtime, so it's actually starting to become a little bit more fathomable.
It certainly is. I think that Supernova understanding that. Get ink on the mic a little bit. Talk this over. using their tactical timeout, so he's certainly a guy that can bring a whole lot when it comes to the mid-round and being able to have input mid-game. Got to talk to him a little bit as well when I was in Dallas.
Okay.
He's a very smart guy.
Yeah, let's see what he's going to be able to relay through to the team here. They've gone for the double AWP setup. That's an adjustment, and I like it. I'm a fan of the double AWP setup on Anubis in general. I think it's a nice kind of gimmick you can bring to the table once or twice in a half that almost guarantees you a round because you can catch your opponents off guard. It does look like this one's going to have some pace and ferocity, though.
Do they have... Not quite the flash setup. Serendipity's still here. I like this setup. Even though Empathy is exposed, Serendipity available for backup. Empathy takes a little bit of flack, but they aren't going to go off of that. And this... Supernova haven't actually reacted as aggressively as I think Marca Registrada wanted to. There's still STX here on B. Still, and now recovery for Fox. She's arrived onto the scene. STX survives and does a ton more damage. Fox pulls out the sidearm, and from Pizza B1 has the frag to cut this down to a 1-on-2.
Oh, man. Very good rotations there, arriving just in time. STX doing such a good job of holding down the ship on that B bomb site for Fox to join in on the action as well. And now it's all on B1. We've seen amzzy with a number of clutches throughout this map already to just keep his team alive. Now it's B1's turn. And he's just burning that clock down, remaining positioned in E-box, hoping that maybe the longer he takes, he could kind of sow the seed of doubt that perhaps he's rotated off of B.
I mean, that's the idea, but look at where Supernova Comets are. They are unyielding, entirely unmoving right this moment. So the idea from B1, understandable, but it's not worked the way that he's drawn it up.
We'll guarantee the bomb plant here, at the bare minimum. Set himself up in the post plant. No kits in play for either of these remaining members. Serendipity making her way up long, but it's an instant headshot from B1, who's now been tagged. Empathy's realized that she's clocked it. Sidearm out right now. One bullet will get the job done, and she's nailed it. Supernova Comets can take a bit of a breath of relief there as they've gotten the job done and won their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, and listen, it does kind of change things when you look at the box score, but the reality is that they dominated this map from the very beginning, and it's only there towards the end that there even became a question. B1 learning the hard way that is a no-nade zone, I think, as well, tragically, at the very end. Good news, though, if you are a Supernova Comets fan. They come into this, and it's Nuke coming up next, Hayes, and you know what? This feels like it's a match made in heaven. It feels like they've got everything that they could ever want. Is this the easy close? A quick 2-0 day here for Supernova Comets? Is that what you're anticipating?
I mean, on paper, yes. For me, the one sort of question mark I have coming into Nuke is which Marcus Registrada are we going to get? Because if we get the second half from what we had on Anubis coming into Nuke from Marcus Registrada, then we could have a game on our hands. So, going to be watching this one quite closely here. Supernova Comets, you're right though. This does feel like they've had the red carpet rolled out for the 2-0.
Why would they ever start T-side? What?
That is a good question. One that
Sorry.
I cannot answer.
We'll come back to that. The round's going. They're sprinting towards the ramp, and Serendipity's already fallen back. STX going to handle business towards door, and so that should allow a clean avenue to get back down the vent should it be necessary. Now Serendipity takes the contact. Fantastic second frag from her, and she's got support. The spamzzy's isolated the singular, and might be a little bit more to find.
He's got a molly on his back, and he's actually dinked Raven at range. He's rattling off the shots. He's found the frag on STX. It's great from spamzzy, saving the day. Such low health on Raven, and even lower HP on Empathy right now in towards control room. And Marcus Registrada, well, he's going to hunt for the frags at this point. It's another really nice kill from spamzzy. He's just lit the server on fire. Empathy will get one back, and she find that one tap to finish off the job. Unfortunately not. And Marcus Registrada open up their account first.
Yeah, that's a crazy recovery considering where that was. I think Supernova Comets, fair enough, you left Serendipity a little bit out in the open, but she does her job and more with 2 frags there. I think the bigger issue is the fact that they didn't allow so many individual duels to happen over towards spamzzy, and who... To be fair, I'm not 100% of this. I can only assume spamzzy is leading this team. He's the most experienced player with like the longest tenure. It would make sense to me that he's leading this squad. So it's good to see, get him out in front early to maybe have a little bit of a lead by example.
Yeah, he is fantastic around there. Just holds his nerve, calmly taps those, wants to get those kills and inflict so much damage. It's going to be a very easy cleanup in the anti-eco that follows here as well. You did pose a really important question though. Marcus Registrada, they had the choice of sides coming into this map with it being Supernova Comets pick, and they've chosen to start on the T side. I mean, they started on the CT side of Anubis, arguably the most difficult half in the map pool, and the argument is alongside T-side Nuke, so they're doing this on hard mode right now, man.
Quite literally, it is probably the hardest possible. I can't imagine the thought process, but you know what? At this point, it is what it is. They're just going to have to convert, perform at the moment.
Maybe going from T-side into T-side could be thinking the thought process. Like, they had some momentum on their T-side Anubis. They want to carry that into Nuke. I don't know. Doesn't really check out normally, but maybe that's the thinking.
You're doing a good job of finding possible reasons. I'll give you that.
Might pull a muscle with that reach, but anyway, we're here now.
Well, I was going to say, that's a fantastic weapon to have in that position, but STX gets sidelined. A fantastic aggression, though. Empathy able to grab one. Oh, she's in trouble. She's got no idea. I feel like there should be some sort of inkling with the early smokes that happened down or over towards Yard, but seems like Supernova Comets missed something in the communication.
Yeah, I think Majestics was also just keeping focus towards outside by smoking off Mini and making a hell of a lot of noise, so Empathy thought she might have a bit of a timing serendipity. Not spotted, actually, I don't think. Big advantage for Marcus Registrada. 2 players in towards Decon, but I don't think they're going to end the round on B here. And that might play into Supernova Comets' hands. There's still a player in Heaven and Raven deep in towards Squeaky.
Yeah, it's about contact first here for Raven. Now Fox should be able to activate, but Raven can't find a way to stay alive. At least Fox is going to confirm that one, but now she's out in the open and running out of ammunition too. But Serendipity in a tough spot. 1v3 that might not even start, honest and truthfully. Save would not be a bad call.
Yeah, I reckon that's makes the most sense. Just not much going for her here in this instance. And Marcus Registrada, well, certainly justifying their decision to start on the T side early on. Good opening from them, pistol conversion against the eco, and then a convincing gun round as well. Spamzzy, the guy we've kind of been highlighting coming into this one here for his team, has started off really nicely. Some important multi-kills for him so far. Majestic's yet to die as well. And they'll be quietly content with this opening 3-0.
Yeah, it's really important that someone joined AMC in what was sort of a solo effort for him most of Anubis. So getting Spamzzy, Majestics in the mix early on, letting them take some of that spotlight, and we haven't really seen B1, who, to be honest, is usually going to be one of the stars of the show. I think that is actually probably positive signs for Marca Registrada, considering that they're winning 3-0 right now. There's still plenty back in the bag to pull out.
This is going to be simple and direct as well. Straight into the A bomb side, recognizing they've got a massive advantage in terms of the weapons in the round, and they're just going to run with the fence over. We yet to really see Supernova Comets get going here on Nuke the way we saw them open up on Anubis. Everybody was popping off, and they really did have the best start possible coming into that first map, but it's going to be a static start for them here. Not an ideal start at all on Nuke going down 0-4 CT side. A lot of weight on that gun round that follows.
Especially when the first gun round goes so poorly. Serendipity back into the same spot where let's just see what we can do holding on to this gun. They are on the hunt. Marca Registrada, I want to make sure that doesn't happen. I think fortunately she's chosen a good spot to sit and wait. This round out. Coming into the next gun round, though, here's what I'm looking for the Supernova Comets. I want to see them be a little bit more proactive, maybe. Yard definitely could be an option there, but ramp is there as well.
Yeah, it feels like Marcus Registrada have kind of had free reign. I mean, we did see one round where Empathy pushed through Squeaky. I mean, I mentioned that in the pregame that she does have that tendency to look to try and be quite active on the CT side and find timings to catch her opponents off guard. but you're right. More emphasis towards outside could be a good option. There's an AWP in play now for Fox as well. Could be a difference maker. I mean, 0-4 start, really not the end of the world, but it does mean that that following gun round is really important here. It's not that you can't afford to lose as a Supernova Comets, but it just puts you in such an awful position if you do.
Like, yeah, what is Fox sensitivity?
High.
Yeah, very high. Oh my goodness. Jardani going to be able to figure that one out. Through the smoke, but with the support of a nade to break that open. Fox going to take some fall damage along with some flak, but a lot of pressure that she's under. It's not going to be eventually going there just yet. Marca Registrada still very much comfortable to drop that smoke and wait.
Oh, Empathy has been peppering the wall. B1 patiently just sits in towards Squeaky. Door kindly opened up for him by his teammate. And now it's all on Raven on the rafters. Serendipity desperately trying to get back to aid and affect her teammate here. Hawks in the meantime will at least draw some blood towards ramp, so there's a bit more resistance in this round from the CT side.
Tough part is, how do you get down there to provide that support? Serendipity now needs to find the player inside of it. No, she's not going to have her gun out in time. Again. Yeah, that's twice and almost in the same spot.
So I was posing the question coming into Nuke about which Marcus Registrada we were going to get you on the map, whether it would be the first half from Anubis or the second half, because there was a stark contrast between those two teams on the one map. And it's looking like they've kind of picked up here on Nuke where they left off on Anubis. They were down 10-2 on the half, they lost the map 13-8. Certainly more positives in that second half here for Marcus Registrada. And we're seeing that translate quite nicely into Nuke here as well.
Yeah, we are. I think as well that the slight concern for Supernova Comets is like a very quiet Empathy. She's one that we've kind of talked about as, I think, a really important firepower provider, and that wasn't a problem when you're talking about how well STX was playing individually, but you know, she's an it factor that I haven't seen in these opening 5 rounds of Nuke.
Yeah, we need to see that X factor coming to life. I mean, at least they will be able to plug the gaps here, so we will see a follow-up investment for the CT side, but they're running out of time. Maybe a good opportunity to call a pause. Yeah, there we go. Bang on the money. We saw the pause actually have an effect on Anubis, if I'm not mistaken. Was that the... Did they win the round straight after the pause, or was it the gun round that came a bit later on?
I think it was the one that they closed on, but they had one prior to that as well, if I'm not mistaken, so...
See if that's going to change the course here as well.
Either way, things that I've noticed here for Marca Registrada is that they're very much lobby-centric, at least on a couple of these rounds. They do toss utility yard, but it's mostly just a ruse. They get one man down at maximum, and then they put a lot of their pressure towards A.
Yeah, and I mean, Nuke is one of the maps that you're not going to have like a million different strats that you run. It's more just kind of like micro variations of the same sort of plays. Obviously very limited for space on this map. No one is going to be the AWP's potential crossing path. Door opens up. Hawks misses her shot. AMC connects. In fact, I think that's a collateral, but it's not fatal on either of the players.
Oh. How she survived. Not for long. MC comes back for more, drops a nade, and then follows it up with another 50 cal bullet. Straight to the knee. And there's the cross I've been talking about, Jardani. In the meantime, with all of the chaos being sown towards single door, we get down into secret.
Yeah, lest we forget, this is normally Marcus Registrada's permaban. Nuke is a map they've banned first in the past 5 best of 3s they've been a part of. And I'm left scratching my head wondering why, fellas. Nuke is clearly a pretty damn good map for you. It's now going to be a shift towards the A-bomb side coming through from them. Empathy's on the rafters. He's going to have to get multiple from her. Able to find the frag on the first. STX through the smoke gets in on the action as well. There we go. Finally, the defense is able to stand tall.
Yeah, it's a 3-point hold there for the Comets. First contact by Empathy up on rafters. And hold on a moment. Nice trade. The very minimum for Serendipity. He's getting concerned, but now Majestics is alone and got no support whatsoever. First isolation, but a double swing coming. As I was saying, three-point defense First contact by Empathy, that's fantastic, and I love how STX and Raven are swinging off the back of each other's contact there on the lower side on floor. That was beautiful stuff. Made it very difficult, I think, for Marca Registrada to understand where the defenses were located, and it was not the full execute that we've seen them try and pull off before. I think they thought that there was a better timing than there was. I think, oddly enough, the fact that the Comets didn't respect Giordani down in secret is what wins them that round.
Yeah, don't have the attention pulled away from where it matters. Forks towards outside. Shows to get a kill, but how does she not get traded? Empathy doing her damnedest to try and help Forks out. Going to be able to get one frag back, and oh, the blackout from the scope actually covers B1 as he emerges through the smoke. And with that kill, Marcus Registrada will be the one to walk away with the man advantage.
Serendipity's got to be really careful here not to overstep. She's actually started to fall back, and I love that. At the moment, it looked like she maybe wanted to push forward into lobby, but I think made the right decision. Going down onto the B site. Now Raven solo at A, and that's who's going to be under fire.
Oh, she's going to be able to find the first. Can she lock it down for both? So incredibly close. 1 point of health for B1. But it's enough for him to still live. It's going to be Serendipity coming through from heaven, but Giordani will lock it down. Oh, man, such a fine margin there for Raven. Makes a big difference.
I just feel like she should have had that, given where they were located in the round. That's so unfortunate. Couldn't find the final bullet required, and a little bit loud, I think, as well. As Serendipity coming up to heaven gives Marca Registrada a clear indication of what's going to happen. So Supernova Comets, they win a round, but then they lose the next, and I mean, that's just devastating to the economy. Absolutely brutalized.
Certainly, man. I mean, it's one thing going down to 5-0. You finally win a gun round, then you lose the round immediately afterwards. Feels like it just puts you back to square one. Serendipity going to hang around at ramp. Will find one with the MP9. Goes for a reface there. Thought maybe she would have been able to get out with their life intact, but at least a kill comes through from Forks in the meantime. So it's going to be a player advantage here for the CT side now.
Yeah, but that advantage is a lot more tentative than the numbers might lead you to believe. Look at the weaponry at hand.
Yeah, true.
The Eagles MP9 scout for Fox, and they've had to give a ton of space over. STX is turtled in spawn. There's maybe a little bit more to this than meets the eye. If you're Marca Registrada trying to suss out, okay, where did they go?
And where do we go? Where do we go from here? Been able to get control of ramp. You can't plant the bomb there, though. Majestic's going to be the one to venture back into lobby and kind of figure out what's going on the side of the map here. And in fact, joining up with his teammates on the A bomb site, lots of damage done. Raven will actually get the frag on spamzzy at range with the MP9. That's really good work. I mean, they'll never expect Majestics here, but in the meantime, AMC is trying to join up with Majestics, and he actually will be able to successfully make his way up heaven until he ends up exposing himself to STX. Now only Majestics left, and he's not going to have any trouble in planting the bomb itself, but Empathy coming up to that. Oh no, Raven's burnt herself out, but it's fine. Empathy will spare the blushes as she hits the 1D.
Yeah, a little sigh of relief there. There's no world in which Marca Registrada are anticipating STX to be in spawn when Fox has already gone down under heaven. So that moment of unexpectedness going to pay off big time for the Comets, and I think this buys them a whole lot of space. They need to take advantage of this. They cannot afford another round of losses, or, you know, group of losses, I should say. Cannot afford that whatsoever. The eco win.
That's a huge reprieve. Yeah, exactly.
It's just bought them a little bit of time for a recovery, and that's what it is, because 6 rounds on the T side is already damn good.
I will say it is a big letter for Supernova Comets, because it was looking like at one point that we could get a similar sort of storyline with what we had on Anubis, where the team in the first half just kind of runs away with the game. But winning that half investment there, it does keep them in the conversation. If they win this gun round that follows, 6-3 becomes 6-4. And then they've got something to work with at that point. It's been a slow start for Supernova Comets, but there's still enough time to recover in the first half.
Yeah, we're starting to get those individual moments too. Raven had a fantastic round with the MP9 a moment ago. A big frag from Empathy from STX on the Deagle. things starting
It
to come
feels like
together.
those moments could just like kickstart this game for Supernova Comets because it was a slow start for them, but individuals starting to come alive.
Now here's where we find out if it is that Kickstarter or if it's just going to be a false start.
Yeah, another stall out. Can't afford for it to be.
A lot of presence for Marca Registrada here towards Yard. It's looking like she wants to set Empathy up for a frag, but actually Empathy gets the kill first and then just falls back. Maybe best case scenario, no response available for Marca Registrada, even as they get across towards Secret.
Yeah, the fact that Empathy's able to get that kill and get out of dodge with her life intact is brilliant. Marcus Registrada now chasing Ghost. They don't have any smoke grenades left remaining. Majestics was able to cross quite early, but it's going to be on the radar of Empathy, who's now closing that gap and taking the space in Secret.
When and if does STX turn around? I think this might not be known. Oh, and spamzzy's just heard someone drop down. This A site is under some serious pressure. Raven's going to get shot, and she has no idea how this gap has been created.
Yeah, very good work from spamzzy, but there's still work to do in the round here. spamzzy can drop into Fox. So brave. Fox is missing the shot to the sidearm for both players. And it's going to be STX who arrives out of nowhere to get the kill, affect the frag, and earn the advantage now for the retake.
Ooh, Serendipity's heard this. I think Giordani's position might be known. He's still going to get a freebie. STX goes down. It's the opposite secondary that can't get into the mitts, and Fox going to try and make up for lost time. That earlier missed shot, it's close. B1, oh so low, and the flash is just too little too late. A huge clutch for Fox as she finds the 1v2.
Oh, massive work coming through from her there, man. You could see the call had come through that there was a tag found and that last player must have been fairly low. Fox just backs herself with the pistol, and that's enough to get the kill. It gets scary, though, because if she doesn't instantly get the frag, she eats that flashbang, and she's certainly dead immediately afterwards. But they've been able to make it work, and now money's kind of been busted up for the T side. They're going to spend their cash again. I mean, it makes sense because they know they have Supernova Comets against the ropes. If they can win this force buy, then they're in complete control once again. But it's a big tipping point in the half, right? Because if Supernova Comets can get it done against the force buy, then 6-all looks realistic.
I actually think this is a slight misread. The Supernova Comets aren't really against the ropes economically in any way. They had everything that they could want this round. Serendipity, though, once again, taking contact, but doesn't want to stick it out. Fox leaning forward. She doesn't have any further support on the ramp side. STX is the only one to find it. Raven unaware of the lurk from Giordani. He's been so often towards Yard, and Serendipity comes back to meet her demise.
Oh, lots of searching going on right now from Supernova Comets. Lots of searching to try and get information, and they've ended up just walking straight into crosshairs. That can happen in a round where you've kind of lost the advantage as a CT side. You feel compelled to try and make a play to get back into the round. Those players get punished. Just compounds the problems. And timing gonna suck for her as well. Yeah, Giordani comes through the squeaky door. And this is what I was referring to in terms of saying Supernova Comets were against the ropes. It was in the sense that if they lost that round, because now they've had their economy broken, and I mean, they probably could go for an investment, but it wouldn't be super compelling, and instead it looks like they're going to go for another half buy.
Yeah, the half buy seems like the better option to me as well. I think that the problem started in that round, to be honest, when Fox feels so compelled to go for such an aggressive stance at J-Hall. You had Serendipity down B. There wasn't a gap, but Fox playing as if there was, some huge gap that had opened up there. So unlikely to change the game. Marca Registrada was such a big advantage, and
oh, nice.
Well played.
Yeah, good double team into Mini there, just nullifying the chance of the pistols popping off. Comes close, though. My goodness, imagine if Raven actually gets that kill. All of a sudden, it's looking a whole lot more doable. It's going to be unfortunate to touch, though, without armor. Yeah, as soon as she catches a bullet, that aim punch is going to be too much to handle. And Marcus Registrada, they got 8-3 on their T side of Nuke. Fantastic display coming through from them here. What a good way to answer back after losing on their map pick.
Truly, I could not have anticipated this in any way. I can't believe how well put together Marca Registrada currently look on a map that they have not played. This is some insanity, to say the least. 4 rounds seems like a minimum. Supernova Comets need it.
Oh, absolutely. They certainly need a 4th round out of this first half if they're going to be able to keep themselves in the conversation for the 2-0. They have been able to draw first blood. Serendipity hangs around. Her smoke gets broken open, leaves her exposed, and Empathy goes down as well. I must say, I feel like Jardani's done a really good job of just bossing Hut and Squeaky in his Lurksies round so far. He hasn't played super timidly. He's been finding impact consistently. Good jiggle before he commits there. Figures out that Forks is on the angle. And now they've got the strength in numbers approach where they can just kind of group up and try and, I mean, just whatever they end up doing, they can just do it together and always have that extra man.
I mean, and especially when they know that Fox is towards Squeaky, she's been the one to answer the call once things might be lost here. And whoa, just a stunning headshot. Majestics. It's up to Raven and Fox. First contact for Raven's fantastic. Surely, you gotta be careful of this. You want it in trouble, and oh my gosh, Jardani trying to play respectfully towards Heaven, but no, that's not where they're at. Supernova Comets making it away with this. Raven in the 1v1, and she pulls it back. It takes clutch after clutch, but Supernova Comets, they do pull up a little bit there at the end, 4-8 at halftime.
Counter-terrorists win.
A pretty decent end, considering, for Supernova Comets. They do the bare minimum, but it's not good. Not by a long shot, Hayes. 4 rounds on the CT side. Now they go over to the T side. Where do you stand?
I stand in the camp of Marcus Registrada taking this to a third map, honestly. And it was a really good display from them throughout that first half. And now they go to the favored side of the map as well. I feel like this is a must-win pistol round for Supernova Comets if they're going to stand any chance.
They've already gotten a whole lot of space out in yard, and Empathy and Raven both pick up a kill. Pretty difficult now for the CTs to actually stand tall at A nor at B. This is a great reroute. I really like that decision from Supernova Comets.
This is the round the world strat on Nuke. I didn't even know one existed, but they've just created it.
I'm a fan. They've turned me.
It's worked out well so far. This is unnecessary, though. I was going to say, if you're Fox, you don't have to take that fighter trap. You've got the advantage. You've kind of given it up there. There's a kit in play on Spamzzy as well. 2 sets of Julies. A frag found for Serendipity, traded up straight afterwards. Trades the name of the game. It's just Majestic Step remaining, and not for much longer. Big pistol round there from Empathy.
I will say something that was pretty missing in comparison to Anubis for Supernova Comets is like the little details of them being able to work and play off of one another. A lot of moments where they were a little bit overexposed, I feel like. So that's something that they need to put a handle on, and that's exactly what you were just highlighting with Fox. Good news is, I actually did some looking. It's actually the T side for Supernova Comets that's a little bit better.
Ooh,
and by a little bit, I mean like actually a lot better, which is mind-blowing.
What numbers are we talking here?
Like 50-30.
Okay, yeah, that is a big discrepancy, and certainly not in the direction you would expect. Now, hang on. Empathy's disconnected.
No damage
has been done to Supernova Comets. 2 points of damage has been done to B1, but I mean, if it's Supernova Comets who are calling the not live, then that should be inconsequential.
Yeah, I'm hoping this will end up being not live. Right now, I'm actually unsure. Might be a rulebook situation, work it out.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if we are playing exclusively by the rulebook without any sort of nuance being applied, damage has been done. And the admin might have said, like, damage done, round has to be played. And it does look like we're going to be playing this one out here. So Supernova Comets, they're going to have to lock in with 4.
Yeah, that's really bad news. The good news is, at least Marca Registrada haven't invested. This is still like a pure eco right now. So as much as you hate to lose one player, it's probably the best case scenario of playing out a 4-on-5.
Yeah, you just got to kind of play the round like someone's lost their head to a 1D outside, right? And you still just got the quartet grouped up, and they've actually just kind of been able to thread the needle here, just playing for contact. Haven't found any contact. Walked the entire way down to the B bomb site. Figured out that it's vacant. And let's just assume the space and plant the bomb. So it should be all fine and dandy here for Supernova Comets. These pistols obviously going to feel out the retake, see if they can make something happen. There's effectively a second kill in the round. A Mac 10 could be recovered. I mean, I'm not concerned for the round at large, but any damage will certainly be welcomed, and there's a second kill.
There's not a lot of trouble for the round itself, as you said, but hold on. Raven, at the very least, taking that frag, and nicely done. Raven, that's the second time that she's had to come up clutch for her team and win them an important round. This time, though, that important round, quote-unquote, it's an eco, a full eco for Marca Registrada. DC or not, that's still fantastic amount of damage.
Oh, yeah, they'll take that every single day, ending with Y. That is a great return for them against the full investment. As we now go into a gun round, if they can win this gun round here, there's a world in which that could just be like the beginning of the end for Supernova Comets, as brutal as that sounds, even though it's only 8-6. They've got no money. They lose this 9-6. Probably have to force buy because of the lack of round loss bonus. It could get ugly really quickly.
Yeah, that all can be, changed immediately, though, if they just win this round. Oh my gosh, Fox almost hit that flick. Unfortunately, the fight through Mini is very bloody indeed. Majestics trades after just the one, favoring the Comets, leaves them down. And a 3-on-4, grouped together at the very minimum.
Yeah, that's the game plan here. The 3 players left alive here for the T side, just going to group up arm in arm and walk their way down and towards the speed bomb site. It's only spamzzy who's here, but he's just tucked in behind the box. He's happy to play the long game. He knows he doesn't have to worry about ramp, and this is a position where you're almost certainly good for at least a kill, and that's probably all he needs, honestly.
I am worried about the fact that there's 2 Molotovs, though.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I I feel like with how quiet they're being and how slow this approach is, those could definitely go in that direction. First one's not going to, though. spamzzy just settles in. So we're going to get that fight. What a clear from STX. spamzzy takes the committed duel and loses his life because of it. Bomb uncontested as it goes down for free. Supernova Comets, they have themselves around.
They certainly do. Big opportunity here for them. B1 spots up one player. Might have heard the shots from the second. It doesn't matter because Jardani's gone down. In the meantime, oh my god, what a double down from B1. The one punch with the M4, the other with the HE. And STX is just now on the ramp. She's just going to commit to the big wide swing. And she will come away with the kill. Gets ridiculously close though. A great effort from B1, but one that goes in vain.
I actually really like how confident STX plays that 1v1 though.
Yeah, true.
It's super risky, but you know what? Back yourself. She came out with that incredible entry to start this thing off, and honestly, I really respect the decision to play that fashion, but could have gone wrong, doesn't. It's another clutch. That's, what, 4 clutches now for Supernova Comets to get their 7 rounds.
Yeah, it's a good point. Guess the thing they'll be focused on right now is that they've been able to draw within one in a couple rounds where they haven't had the luxury of the opening kill. Been relying on individuals having big moments to win them these rounds. And we were talking about room for improvement with Marca Registrada earlier. It feels like we've got something similar here with Supernova Comets. Isn't there one directly below her? Yeah, there is. That's AMC will come away with the kill, but that'll also just prompt the T side to continue to take the space outside.
Yeah, and as much as that might have opened up some opportunities, you get the gun at the very minimum, but I'm not quite sure how it's possible that Jardani won that fight. Thankfully, Empathy and Fox will put that one to bed. That was only a half buy for Marca Registrada, but it is a full equalizer, 8-8 score line. As we get the Comets making that comeback already. 4 rounds straight up the rip of the second half.
Oh, it's going to just set them up really nicely now to continue this fight back. It's looking quite bleak. At one point it was, what, 6-1, I think, for Marca Registrada. So, Supernova Comets have won, 7 of the past 9 since then?
Yeah.
Good fight back from them. If they win this gun round here, all of a sudden they're actually in control.
And as I highlighted,
they've had the luxury of, yeah.
It's their T side that typically has been doing a lot of heavy lifting for them. What ends up happening is a lot of teams picking into Nuke and them really favoring their T side because of it. 3 smokes just deployed from STX. The back lines there. FD yard control that is going uncontested.
Such an important round here for Marca Registrada. And it's going to be first blood drawn by Forks with that AWP. Posted up outside, might be more on off. There is, but she's missed her shot, thankfully. STX is on the scene there. Going to keep her AWPer alive and extend that advantage to 2.
I mean, now it's just a matter of putting the pieces into the right position. At least it should be. Marca Registrada down by 2. 45 seconds remaining. Group up, play together. Majestic's caught searching. About to be the same. Jardani is in the mix. Hold on. AMC is going to hit this shot as well. Time's starting to become an issue. Well, and in control at the very least. And yeah, it is a massive kill. AMC now.
There. I will say, like, Supernova Comets has figured out exactly what's going on. I mean, it's a 5v2. They lose 2 players to get the information, but they then know exactly what they can try and do to win the round with that extra 1 player still alive. Piece it together, get the kills necessary. I feel like Supernova Comets are also just really good at controlling the map. It's something we saw on Anubis as well, where there's very infrequently any space available for them to get flanked out. I feel like they're just always making sure that they've got most of the map under control. They've got some sort of cover, kind of deny the CTs making those sporadic plays to get info. And we're back in Force by Town, Vincent. Marcus Registrada, they're doing it again.
Yeah, and it's that uneven attempt at it too. Unfortunately, the full loss bonus behind it. So, you know, shouldn't be too big a deal, and maybe it's a massive deal when spamzzy gets a double. Jardani arrives, but a little too late. That's a fantastic find. Fox is up now, confirmed up top of Silo. So these are the moments where you were just talking about how good Supernova Comets have been. I was singing their praises on Anubis. They're mid-rounding from these advantage positions especially, but even these 3-on-3s have been fantastic.
Yeah, certainly been a good strength of theirs throughout the series so far. If they can piece it together here, that will put them in a really strong position to get the 2-0 under their belt.
I think STX is the critical piece that is making these moves.
Yeah, she's deep right now. All the way wrapping around through CT spawn. In the meantime, it's a lobby crunch from Marca Registrada, and that'll lead to Serendipity's demise. And there's actually the bomb in CT spawn, Forks. Oh, she gets the AWP out, but the no-scope. My god, the one carrying the bomb hits the magical shot.
STX is like, where the hell are they? I've cleared so much space out. Now she's got to go and help Fox. I think a really intelligent decision that Marca Registrada made with regard to crunching lobby, but STX has got to hurry up. Now they start to move. Fox, though, down, and honestly, STX doesn't have the time for this.
Got the first frag, though. Second player is in proximity. Just an off angle for Jardani, though. Means he will be able to get the kill for free. And the force by successful for Marca Registrada. It's going to work out for them to level up the scoreline again, but that got close.
Yeah, and you know, it's a guy that we haven't really talked about a lot here in the recent couple of rounds, but one that we opened this map talking heavily about, and that's spamzzy. That double kill with the MP9 out in yard, it throws a huge monkey wrench into Supernova Comets' plans. Makes life incredibly difficult, and I think that, you know, once spamzzy gets that opening, puts it into a 3-on-4, despite what I would consider Supernova Comets having a good reaction themselves, Marca Registrada basically make all the correct decisions from that point on. Taking lobby, working together, making it very difficult for Supernova Comets to actually have a chance to win that round because nobody's ever exposed.
I also like the way that Marca Registrada are quite keen to make moves in some of these situations. They've always shown confidence in those 3-on-3s where there's not much going on in the round. They don't just kind of like sit by idly and wait for the game to come to them.
I think, you know, to be honest, they got punished for that a lot on Nukes.
Yeah,
and the adjustment that they've made here is that they're doing this as a unit more often.
Yeah,
it's not
good
them
point.
being individually taking those fights, it's together. And I think they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Certainly has looked a whole lot more convincing with that adjustment. Going to be the wall of smokes deployed outside. Empathy the one to take the space here, but it's all a ruse.
They're so concerned about potentially seeing spamzzy there again.
Fair enough, I guess. Certainly has been a menace. Oh, Empathy crosses just in time as there's some life left in that smoke grenade, but now the focus is just around.
All the pieces in place. Just got to get this trade onto ramp. Oh, barely do. Ravens on 2 health, but they got the cross. Now Empathy can basically put the winning touch on this round. Jardani drops another following, but Empathy, she's a one-woman army. They cannot take her, not in the slightest. Empathy shuts down 3 as they drop one by one down the vent into their deaths.
Oh, great work from Empathy on the multi. I will say, though, I'm not sure who the first player from Marca Registrada was that came through the vent, but I think Empathy was running. I feel like the step should have been heard, but he didn't look like he was prepared at all for Empathy to be in that position. Getting 1 kill was great, but that didn't guarantee the round by any stretch for her team. The second and third, man, the third one was just gravy at that point, just flexing on her opponents. And that's going to regain the lead for Supernova Comets. And even though they lost the round before that, they were able to get 4 kills. There's barely any money here for the CT side, and they're hunting the AWP desperately, but AMC will stand tall.
I think that is well worth the attempt, even though AMC doesn't go down. Valiant effort. They have the cash to back that up, even though it's not super amazing for the Supernova Comets. They know that this should be an eco round. I say should be because Marca Registrada have been not so keen to eco very much. They've been very willing to take a whole lot of risks with their economy.
Surely not this time round, right?
Oh,
no,
they're kind of doing
not,
it.
lads.
Oh, they're doing it.
Oh, they're doing it again.
Hayes, make it stop.
I can't. I wish I could. I'd love to.
I mean, listen, if I would have played a little bit of devil's advocate here, with those additional kills that the AMC got, Supernova Comets' economy isn't amazing. It certainly could be broken, and we're still in a very close game. But it does work both ways. A close game, the Comets could run away with.
Yeah, the problem is the risk is just exacerbated by the fact that if they lose this round, it's 11-9 into 12-9 because then they're going to have to eco. So there's a lot weighing on this one, but it actually looks okay. 2 MP9s, 2 M4s, and an AWP. Let's see if they can find a way to win this round here. You lose it at your peril, Marca Registrada. There was a spot on the jump.
Wow.
I'm sure Fork saw the head, but just never really adjusted. It's going to be Raven, though, to get a kill and then die immediately afterwards. So it's an advantage for the CT side.
I too thought Fox had seen that, but apparently not. Empathy will grab the op from her body and try and work her way at yard again. This is not ideal for the Comets. They have no map control. It's just about yard. It's really about whether or not they can facilitate Empathy with this AWP. They keep that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Empathy's just trying to poke and prod with that AWP right now. Been chipped away at a little bit. No need to overface it to the CT side here. You got to be careful, guys. It's a 4v3. You've got everything you need in the round already. And STX has actually done a really good job to close the gap. And B1's been legged. Oh, man. This gives STX a massive opportunity. I don't think it's on B1's radar at all that this play could be made right now. And STX will continue to hear the steps in the drop down into A.
Yeah, B1's dead. It's just a matter of how much space that they can get off the back of that. The answer is a ton, actually. Majestics can be the only one to have impact in this, but the door is closed. So, with that, Empathy able to cross and the information given away via Majestic, Serendipity in a great spot. But to duel this, Serendipity can't afford to go down. That is the most important individual right now. Get Empathy on the line. With Empathy there, Empathy connects, picks up the op, and says, Fox, let me help you out.
Good lord, talk about getting Empathy online. She might be able to finish off as well, no, but effectively by losing her life out, the trade will come through straight afterwards from STX. What a round out of STX as well. I mean, I know Empathy does fantastic in that post plant to get both kills, but STX again, as was the case a few times on Anubis, the key to unlock the bomb site. Just really good decision making to push towards outside, scale up heaven, open up that A bomb site, teammates rotate in, cover their bases perfectly. And Supernova Comets, well, you did kind of tout their T side as the half to watch out for here on Nuke, and they've absolutely delivered.
Yeah, listen, I know that STX had a pretty stunning individual performance on Anubis, but that, that's not the usual numbers that you're going to see. What
Sure.
you can expect to see from STX every time is really intelligent decision making like that. I mean, she puts herself in a position where she can consistently be at the forefront of taking space and defining the round for the Comets, and that's an example of that perfectly.
So much impact out of that play there. I mean, remember that they lost the first pick in the round. Then there was a trade from Raven, but then Raven died. It was a 4 versus 3 from a standing start from Supernova Comets. They didn't have anything going for them in the 4v3. And they're still able to win the round. And this is almost like best case scenario for Supernova Comets because nice movement from Forks there to get up to Silo. Just kind of fluff it a little bit at the end, but smoothment nonetheless up until then. But like I was saying, for Supernova Comets, this is almost like best case scenario because you're never having to play against a full gun run with an AWP, all the bells, all the whistles. Yeah, sure, it means you're constantly playing against some sort of an investment, but it's never all that. It's always like 60 to 70%.
Yeah, Marca Registrada not doing themselves any favors in that regard. All series long, really. It's been a point of criticism for you and I basically throughout. And, I mean, the tough part here for Marca Registrada, they kind of have to go searching. There's not a lot of control, and Empathy is just waiting and watching. That's exactly the move that she's hoping spamzzy's going to make, and she's got him locked down.
Yeah, she's been working outside really nicely throughout this half so far, has Empathy. Certainly a force to be reckoned with. And now it's a 5v3. And again, Supernova Comets aren't overplaying their hand in this 5v3. Still going to look to just take their time, keep their composure, conjure up a plan, and finish off the job. Empathy's timing, this might suck. Yeah, she's been sidelined. Okay, at least a kill back now for the CT side, but Jardani's going to have to go massive on Rafters. He doesn't have any support either.
And the good news is, Supernova Comets have all the numbers, and actually a great clear. Serendipity. Oh, it needs to be the trade. Raven goes down too. Majestic's on scene. Fox will handle the flank incoming. Majestics is now dropped under the site, and Fox doesn't know that. Molotov will put fire under the boots of Majestic, forces him out wide. box. Oh, what a shot! The quick scope comes, and for that, another clutch. Supernova Comets living by these clutches. 5 now on Nuke.
Oh, 5. That's crazy. I'm really glad that you're keeping tabs on the amounts of clutches we've seen so far from Supernova Comets. I feel like on Anubis, it was a really well-rounded team performance that got them the job done here. That got them the job done there, rather. But here on Nuke, it's been these huge individual moments. And another one from Hawks. I feel like that's just a massive skill set of hers, is that quick-fire AWPing, man. She's just really quick on the trigger and super accurate as well. 3 map and series points now for Supernova Comets.
That's right. spamzzy back into his home, though.
Oh, boy.
Jordani on the other side of the map, losing life over to Raven. But they've been so careful about this. I don't know if you've noticed the way in which they've been taking these fights every time, but he gets away with it again! Supernova Comets, the care that they've been putting into that goes and flies by for the first time since he got that double kill.
Yeah, Empathy's probably going to be kicking herself a little bit because it looked like she did have the inkling. It looked like she was kind of clearing it out, but just not the entire way through. Almost doubled back, but it was too late. And now again, it's going to be the 3 players to band together here, group up outside. Advantage Marca Registrada in this must-win round.
Where have I seen this before, though? Remember,
A couple rounds ago, yeah.
last time this happened, it was Supernova Comets taking away the cake for the victory, even despite that disadvantage. But they route differently. AMC lost not the weapon that you would want in STX again. She just leads the charge with these very impressive shots on target. Double kill to open up B. Now they can set their feet in the post plant, Hayes.
Yeah, they certainly can. No kit either, just a single flashbang to try and breach back into the B-bomb site. Majestics has gotten the aggression going, though, through the smoke to find the first. B1 will get the kill onto Raven as well. And who else other than STX left alone in the clutch? We've spoken about how they've had so many clutches throughout this map already. Will it be how they finish it off? B1 down to 2 health. STX, has she done enough? No! Unfortunately, not. B1 will fight and get the job done.
Only she knew how much damage she had done onto B1 there. 2 HP is what B1 was working with. And there was a nade for STX there at the very end, but obviously just not information that she can know. She just doesn't have any clue. I guess there's good news and bad news here, Hayes. The good news is that the Comets, they have more chances. The bad news, think about all those clutches, all those times that it's gone down to the wire. The Comets have never had an economy to fall back on, and that doesn't change here.
It's a reflection of how close these rounds have been. I mean, they've done really well on this T side so far. They've only lost 2 rounds in the second half, mate, but these rounds have been ridiculously close, and that's indicative of what their investment looks like here. And it's going to look even worse in the next round if they lose this one, by the way.
I like the speed, though.
So much riding on this round.
It's been slow and methodical, not punchy like this in the past for the Comets. Fortunately, Majestics answers the call. What an incredible crossfire that B1 and Majestics had set.
That works out splendidly, man. Huge advantage for them now in the round, and just as I said, the investment in the next round for Supernova Comets isn't going to look nearly as good as this one. So if they couldn't get it done here, highly unlikely they will in the next. STX and Serendipity are looking to see if they can do the unthinkable in the 4 versus 2. STX could have some great timing. AMC looking to go up the ladder, but no. STX will peek around the corner just in time to make this a little bit more doable.
STX has been such an it factor, though, in these clutches. Needs to get coordinated with Serendipity, though, soon. 40 seconds to play. And sure, bomb in hand, a couple of Molotovs, a couple of flashbangs. True for both the CTs and the Ts. They're just waiting, watching, hoping that there's going to be somebody on Marca Registrada that makes an overstep, makes an oversight, and that might have just happened. spamzzy takes the first step forward. Be crazy to find a way to go down the vent there. Not going to expect a second man on site, and that's Jordani. Isolated with the Molotov, but Jordani hits them both. And a victory there puts us to 24 rounds. And Supernova Comets, they are not out of this yet.
I will say, Marca Registrada heavily helped out by the fact that they still had their 2 players left alive over on that A bomb site, because if you're Supernova Comets, you're never expecting that after you've just gotten the kill squeaky. I mean, sure, maybe you won Heaven, but you're never expecting the guy HUD as well. You're thinking, must be ramp, he's secret, he's vent. Oh, and
Anywhere
Empathy's
else.
been tagged and spawned as well. Yeah, anywhere else, right? But that extra man on the A bomb site makes a big difference for Marca Registrada, and they're on the brink of forcing this into overtime. Great multi-kill from Majestics. 3 frags left here, and that'll get the job done.
I mean, what a final 2 rounds in this half that Majestics is having. Triple kill now in both of them. And Fox is left a tag there. They'll follow up with a frag. Spots out, but can't find the head of Jardani that puts the finishing touches on the comeback story. We are going to go to overtime.
Yeah, one of the reasons I love this esport is the fine margins. We had a 1 versus 1 with B1 on 2 health. Had he gone down there, we're in a break right now waiting for that next series. No, he wins the clutch. They win the following 2 rounds. And now we're in overtime. We wipe the entire slate clean. This could be anybody's game all of a sudden.
It really is. I think maybe on the upside, Supernova Comets on gun rounds have been fantastic as a whole on their T side.
And now they've got money.
They do. Marca Registrada, though, on the other side of that, I mean, they basically can no longer buy themselves into oblivion. So bad decision-making, at least from our perspective on the desk, can't be done.
Have they looked better with worse buys, though? I don't know. It almost feels like they have in some instances.
You might be right.
Let's see. Double AWP going to be invested into by Marca Registrada. Oh, Majestics plays a dangerous game there by peppering the smoke, and Raven says, don't mind if I do.
Talk about the small margins. Moments before that, Raven would have been dead to rights through that smoke. Just a second later, and it's the opposite.
There's no one home on this B-bomb side either. They have not adjusted at all. Serendipity finds a favorable angle on AMC, and things go from bad to worse in the round here for the CT side.
Hey, so I realized they bought a double op, actually.
Yes.
I might have spoken too soon about not being able to muff the economy.
Burn all their money.
Yeah. But this isn't over.
Warm somehow.
I'm not quite sure exactly how Fox goes down in that, but regardless, that's a fantastic frag from Empathy. They'll get the bomb down. Needs to get the trade from Sight, but
no.
STX, she can't find the timing. A 1v1 from Raven. She's already had a couple of these. This would be her 3rd clutch, if I'm not mistaken, to make this work. Here on Nuke, Jardani gonna swing. Raven hits the first, but spamzzy is available for the trade.
Well, that's one of the first rounds we've seen Supernova Comets just drop the ball massively here on Nuke. I feel like a lot of the rounds they've won, they've done from a disadvantage, or they've had to grind their way through the round. That was a 5v3, and I've often sung their praises in the 5v3s in terms of how they haven't overplayed their hands. But this is one of the instances where it feels like they kind of lack that killer instinct, because they had the advantage. There was no one home on the B-bomb side, but the round almost just stalled out there for Supernova Comets.
I mean, not almost, it did. I feel like they needed to just be able to get grouped, and whatever the situation in which they couldn't get grouped, that was the problem. Their intention was there, but they could not convert. Another massive moment from spamzzy. Pull that one back.
True. Oh man, Supernova Comets, they've had their chances here on Nuke. 12-9 up in regulation, 3 map and series points, down to a 1v1. 5v3 to open up in overtime goes awry as well. AMC peering above the smoke, good pathing from the T side though to kind of avoid him, but AMC misses his shot, and Raven again will find an opening. Forks couples up with the kill of hers as well. And again, it's another 5v3. Surely they don't lose it again. Oh,
spamzzy searching. Surely traded. Okay, very nicely done from Fox. That should be the risk on. And I say should be because Magix has been incredible in these later half, now into overtime moments. As Jardani, that we sung the praises of as well on the lurk. Raven's watching. Raven is locked in on this position, and it's not going to change anything. Jardani's on A, and that's where they head. First fight might have been a little easier, but Empathy takes him out.
I think that'll be a really good boost to confidence for Supernova Comets, and it feels like they have to win the 2 rounds that have been left remaining after losing the first here. Just because in regulation we had 8-4 halves on the T side for both of these teams. That kind of translates to needing 2 out of the 3 on your T side. And they're on course to potentially make that happen. Raven, some really good opening kill prowess from her here in overtime.
And I think that we maybe haven't put as much emphasis on it as we should, but for Marca Registrada, it is the elimination on the line here. So they are very much on the brink of devastation in this qualifier.
Yeah, it's a good point. You got to get through this round to get to the safety of that double elimination bracket in the next stage of the qualifier.
I mean, forget that. How about just map 3?
Yeah, you're right. Looking too far forward to the future right now. Locked in 13 apiece. Again, focus towards outside and Fork straight to the smoke. Will get an opening not far from a second kill there. Lots of damage being done both ways, but my goodness, Raven and Empathy, they're limping into the rest of the round.
They are, but to be honest, that might be sort of okay. I was going to say if they go down towards B, but that's not the plan of action right now. They don't have any lobby control whatsoever. STX is going into heaven. This has been a move that she's made many times. And B1 on notice for it.
Oh, very good position. Off angle held. This time STX will be cut down. Not able to find the same sort of impact we've seen from her in that position in rounds gone by. So now Marca Registrada a man up. 4v3. 25 seconds left on the clock. Barely any time here for Supernova Comets to navigate this one. And they've just lost Serendipity as well. Surely no way into the round from here.
Yeah, it feels just so cooked once you lose STX up in heaven. Fox hits a nice shot, but she's alone. And it'll be 2-1 there, at least for the first of overtime.
And that's a problem, because Marca Registrada, they get 2 rounds on their CT side, where they only managed 4 in regulation. 2 out of 3 here in overtime. It's a problem for Supernova Comets, but it sets Marca Registrada up really nicely now. If you're Supernova Comets, it feels like you have to win this first round here in the second half. I think if you lose this, then it's going to be really tough to fight back and force double OT.
I think that they kind of agree with that. Look at the double op investment off the rip. The Comets, they didn't double op at all in the first half. And they starting to feel off the back of that round that she recovered Fox's op and helped close out the 3-on-5. She can get up into the mix with this AWP, and I like to see that.
Yeah, it looked like Marca Registrada wanted to go for a big push into the A-bomb site early on in the round. That was kind of stifled by utility. But it does look like they will eventually have a second pump in the same direction. Oh, Empathy, you gotta be careful, lass. My goodness, a player deep in towards Squeaky Door.
Well, it's enough!
They're gonna get called into action, and it's gonna bait them in towards that second ore.
That's crazy that they turn based on that. Fox has support, but STX falls. Fox misses the mark, but not with the pistol. A headshot with the P250, and now Raven left somewhat alone there on the A site. They're really concerned. Marca Registrada, they don't know quite what they have until they go back down towards B. AMC sees Serendipity. Serendipity makes a very committed move. Can appreciate that from her. And B1 walks right into the crosshair of Empathy. The ops ring true. 4 kills between the two.
Oh man, double AWP setup prevailing there. Great success for them. Like you say, Empathy firing off her shots with the AWP is what funnels Marca Registrada into Forks' AWP. And she gets 2 kills and a brilliant one-tap with the pistol to keep herself alive. And then also, as you highlight in the moment, rightfully so, Serendipity, that little micro movement forward there, that confidence to actually step forward is what catches AMC completely off guard. So, really good decision-making, good confidence on display, and we've leveled up the scoreline again.
Yeah, need that confidence when you're talking about, a half that was 4 rounds for the CTs. Fox is getting heated once again. Big kills in the last. Empathy gonna go down. And they might go right back into Serendipity this time at ramp. It's the rifle, not the op.
Well, Raven's dead again. I feel like Raven's had a really tough day in the office over on the same bomb side, and just a little creep forward from AMC is going to be enough to catch Forks as well. It's only STX left remaining, and surely this is mission impossible now. 1v3, they would have heard the broken window as well. Unfortunately, not there in time to try and catch the bomb carrier dropping down into the B-bomb side. And this should be Marca Registrada getting up to map point.
Hey, I also just feel like the AUG's just not the weapon necessarily that you want in this scenario. Something that she's very comfortable with, but this range, maybe that's not true. Doubled up, both towards sight. It's kind of a scary position for Marca Registrada to be. The good news for them is they just have to take their hands off the keyboard. Don't fight is the only correct decision here, and it looks like they're making it.
Yeah, precisely. Just not give up any fights at all. No reason to peek out there and give STX a chance. And STX is even thinking, because they're not peeking, maybe they're waiting for a flank, but that flank doesn't exist. We'll get one back, but by virtue of the clock, no chance. And Marca Registrada have done it. From being down 9-12 in a 1v1, they've been able to get themselves up to a map point.
They have 3 chances. The Comets had to close. They couldn't do it. Now Marca Registrada get their chance. But it's just the singular, just the one. And it's not for a win. It's just for a third map. It's for survival. That Marca Registrada fight. Supernova Comets, it's for a second overtime. They keep the double up. Fox is on a heater. She's been making steps forward basically throughout as T-side continued to move forward. Now back onto CT side, and it's actually Empathy, the other AWP, towards door to open proceedings.
Yeah, really good kill, because like I was saying, I feel like one of the big problems for Supernova Comets CT side throughout the map so far has been the defense on the A-bomb side. And Empathy has now found 2 and a tag through the wall as well.
How does she know? That name too suggests she might have an idea. Empathy, she plays so aggressively sometimes. This is one of those. She's afraid of no one. Afraid of nothing. Such trust in Raven on the other side of the site as well. Fox puts the pistol into use and takes out another.
Well, that's just brilliant. In such an important round as well. Delivering the goods. Supernova Comets best player standing up in a vital round and finding a key multi-kill. The Orbs just delivering the round effectively here. Delivering the half, if you will, because the first round they won here in the second half of OT was also just predicated off the double AWP. And there we go. Forks will seal the deal. 15-all. We run it back in double OT.
Likely to be the 30 bomb now for Fox as well when you look at it. So the CT side of concern for us, but not for Supernova Comets, as they do what's necessary. Win the 2 rounds required to push to double OT. And I do like this. There's so many times that teams get stuck into, I was about to say the double op, and it looks like they are going to go for it. I was going to say if they didn't, Empathy initially with the rifle, sometimes it's fine. Just to stick with that rifle. spamzzy wants to take you to Empathy. And puts her on notice.
That's fantastic, because you know you're going to get that fight offered up to you. It's what Empathy's been doing throughout the entirety of overtime. And spamzzy says, well, let me just take the fight to her, and he comes out on top. Really good way to affect the opening frag, and that's going to create immense amount of space on the map here.
That's actually why I was going to praise if Empathy went with the rifle. Because I think that, it allows Marca Registrada to start to take some steps in the right direction of counteracting her, like we just saw. Serendipity spotted, tagged heavily as well. Over towards Secret.
Marca Registrada not looking too phased by the fact that they dropped the ball in that one map point. Raven on top of the hunt, just hearing so many footsteps, no idea where to place her cross there. Fantastic execute into the safe bomb site. Forks desperately trying to find a way to force her way back in. Oh, HE is going to dunk down, connects with the AWP as well. It's down to the 1v1, sidearm out. She's going to connect on the headshot as well. Forks, what have you just done?
That's utterly absurd. The fact that Fox beats the timing on the Molotov is so important, but dunking the nade, it all happens in the blink of an eye. Stunning quick scope as well onto the player towards the vent. That is ridiculous from Fox. And he walks away, by the way, with a full kit of utility and a T-side molly. That is absurd. Another clutch. Tack number 6 up to Fox with 33 kills.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying, hey, she's probably going to get a 30 bomb here. Mate, she's just got 4 kills there in the round. She did it in style, won the clutch as well. She's so proficient with the sidearm as well. It's such a deadly combination. I mean, think about it. In that clutch, she got kills with 3 different weapons. The AG, the AWP, and the pistol. Style points.
Oh, but Serendipity caught just hand seen by Jordani. They're really tossing this op around. Jordani with the opening, spamzzy with the one prior round. Now STX gonna try and line them up, but a phenomenal trade. It's B1 to stop the bleed.
I love the space being taken by Empathy, though. Getting heaps of information. Backstab as well. Frag found and gets out of dodge. That's the key. No ability to get the trade frag for Marca Registrada.
It's good decision after good decision for Empathy. What a brilliant reposition from her. Now, pressure on the other side. She makes the move. B1 at the same time through the smoke. Crazy, ridiculous timing. B1 not seen. And Empathy, is it she who's going to get punished, or is it he? B1 spotted, and in the back of the head does he go down. Empathy has just broken open this round. She takes another fight and looks for more. spamzzy, EMC that remain, and spamzzy's gone thanks to Raven from the back of the site. The floor is hers, but it's Empathy on display.
Oh man, AMC able to actually creep his way into the A bomb site undetected and will take Raven down as a result. The bomb is very recoverable right now. That smoke's going to start to fade. Forks takes a huge amount of damage from the nade. AMC, that is a disgusting tap coming through from him. And it's on Forks to clutch again. She did it in the previous. Can she do it again? No, not this time round.
I just don't understand how it's possible that Supernova Comets lose that round. It seems like it's not just improbable, but nearly the impossible that AMC has just pulled off. What a stunning headshot that he hits as that smoke starts to fade onto Empathy. And it's not fair that Fox is left to clutch that again. Such a hard position with the op to fight from, and you can see why.
Yeah, AMC, I mean, that shot onto Empathy, you can't really fault Raven because that was just smart from AMC to creep onto the bomb site and catch Raven off guard, but I feel like Empathy just riding the high throughout that round probably didn't have to play the smoke fade, could have instead fall back and try to play off of Forks a bit better.
Yeah, it's hard to levy that criticism after the round that Empathy had and the impact.
Yes, exactly.
They wouldn't have been there without her, but I think you might be correct.
Yeah, picking at straws for sure, but it's quite nitpicky, but it is probably something that deserves to be mentioned. Big round here at the tail end of OT2, first half. Who can get that lead?
Oh, this is crazy. Going through. Sort of a false start there in the moment. This is such a fantastic setup. Should be. Okay, Serendipity. A little bit off on the timing. Bomb now dropped. She goes over to the AK in a nasty little angle that now she's got available. Maybe not so necessary for Empathy to take that step forward.
Nade Molly combo. Be enough to keep them off the bomb, I believe. I don't think it's been recovered yet. Time ticking away. There's going to be a follow-up Molly here as well.
40 seconds as well is just not a lot of time to play with. They got another smoke.
Smoke. Should be enough to pick up the bomb. Oh no, Forks has it just in her view though. As soon as it gets scooped up, fires off a shot but doesn't connect. Now the focus shifts to the A bomb site.
Shifts to Raven in particular. They're not going to have time to clear out all these angles. Fox gets there in time. Raven does her job and might even do enough to pull this one back. A fantastic tag, but it's no frag. Fox goes down. Oh no! That all is done correctly there for the Comets, but yet still, Marca Registrada pull it off.
My goodness, such good composure from them, really good decision making as well. I guess they didn't really have many options available once they scoop up that bomb over at ramp. Just charge back into the A bomb site again, super fine margin. If Raven can double down, round over. If Forks can get that kill maybe a bit quicker, who knows? If it's a tag and, the frag and not the tag. But it's going to be Marca Registrada who go into the second half of OT2 with their noses in front.
I mean, that's 2 heartbreak rounds that favor Marca Registrada that are just so very close that arguably should have been there for the Supernova Comets, but are not.
Yeah, you're right. There's a world in which that could have been 18-15 for Supernova Comets, that is.
And yet we're 17-16. Marca Registrada now take that and the opener. everyone getting in on these opening duels and gatekeeping from that point on these rounds.
Smoke's outside, separating a number of players. Jardani peppers the smoke, but spamzzy is the one who's kind of being baited in here. Nestled in towards credit card right now. Smoke's going to start to fade soon enough, and that'll leave a few players exposed.
Get across. And no audio cues either off the back of that. Fantastic timing for Fox to turn. On an empathy, a jump there that going to give it away. So with that given, they decide, well, let's just speed things up. Let's get back into this position.
They've struggled with is the pace sometimes. Sometimes they've been too slow. And again, they've taken quite a lot of time. And that's what's given us the time here for the AWP to arrive.
Oh,
Bang.
yeah. Twice over. Amsty's gone, but B1's going to fill in the boat there in the same location here in a moment. But it's Raven who's been incredibly clutch. It's Empathy who's been stepping up her game into overtime. Empathy has been often unstoppable. It's tough for
They don't
B1.
have great post-plant positions.
Oh, it's tough for B1 to get active, though.
That's a huge kill. Might not take the second in close proximity. Yes, Majestics will prevail. And Raven wants to try be proactive. Finds the frag on the first. Nestled into the corner. Trying to get ahead of the HE. She'll connect on the spray to level it up.
I mean, there you go. Another 1v2. Number 7. When we're talking about how this has gone for Supernova Comets. And I think that might be Raven's third. That one I'm going to have to fact check a little later. But regardless, she's been in the mix in so many of those. And Supernova Comets can rely on her every time they need one of those big moments.
Well, this game is the gift that continues to give with no end in sight. Double AWP again here for Marca Registrada. Whoever wins this round gets themselves a map point. If it's Supernova Comets, it's a series point. That's what's up for grabs. Double AWP setup has become the default approach at this point for both teams in overtime.
It has been, but for Marca Registrada, it's honestly a who's who. Feels like everybody takes a chance with it. Who's got the best spawn? I'll take it. It's mine. Wow. Look at all that information that Marca Registrada have just gathered up. They're all the way through lobby, and it's not just AMC posted on an angle. It's everything.
Oh, great awareness, though. You've got to realize you've given up lobby, and Serendipity recognizes that there could be a deep push coming through from the CTs, and she's absolutely on the money.
That is something that Supernova Comets have been really good about. Every time there is a gap, they are very aware of it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Jardani, bit of an off angle, not completely tucked into the corner. Empathy commits, she goes down. It's going to be a bloodbath here. Supernova Comets being picked off one by one. It's only Raven left, and sure, she's been clutch, but surely this is too tall of an order.
Oh, almost got a freebie. That could have changed the game. Got to collect the bomb, though. And spamzzy walks in. Had a better timing. Well, the second opportunity now for Marca Registrada to push this to 3 maps. They had one in OT number 1. And now they're going to have that one in OT number 2.
Yeah, it does feel like it's kind of been heading in this direction. Supernova Comets have kind of been holding on, but Marca Registrada have almost just been in control throughout the entirety of OT so far.
It's fair.
Could this be the moment?
Could we make it to Ancient?
I think we will.
Despite that fact, though, Supernova Comets, the amount of times that they've been tasked with clutching, that they have pulled that off. How many times could you win 7 clutches in a game, lose the game?
Yeah, that's a brutal stat line. I mean, the clutches have completely saved them.
I mean, double overtime does change those numbers a little bit, you know, as a percentage, but it does. I mean, it almost doesn't matter.
Fortunately, a bit of a tech timeout now. Just break up the game a little bit. Probably a well-deserved little breather for both of these teams as well.
I fear a bathroom break, maybe.
I mean, probably fair after 35 rounds of CS.
That's what
I
I'm thinking.
wonder why casters aren't allowed to call for a bathroom break like players are.
You know, because without players, there's no game. That's the answer.
I mean, it is a good answer. I just don't like it really. You know.
Fair.
All right. I guess I'm redundant. That's all good. But yeah, we're gonna get underway once again. You can hear some ticks in chat. No doubt we will be jumping into this last round of OT2. Is there anything left in this tail, or are Marca Registrada gonna get the job done here and now? That's the question going into this next round.
I mean, I got to give them a lot of credit, Marca Registrada. They've been so consistently changing how they start these rounds. I've been talking about the opening duels, but I haven't talked about like the vehicle for them. It's been ops in unexpected positions. Jordani in these off angles, like everywhere across the map. One round he's like in secret, trying to catch a timing, and the next round he's pushing in through ramp with his teammate. It is very, very much a different look every round from Marca Registrada's ET side. I think they deserve a lot of credit for that.
I mean, remember in the first half, there was a lot of plays from spamzzy being made underneath Silo as well. So you're right, there's been a number of different looks. So it's really difficult for Supernova Comets to read. Having said that, I feel like Supernova Comets have actually become fairly one-dimensional on their T side. This has been a lot of 4-1s and even 5-0s from them outside. And that's why we've seen probably a lot of emphasis from Marca Registrada on just forcing the issue into lobby early on and getting all that info.
It's true, but a hot moment to wait things out. Maybe even give some further thought. Supernova Comets could change things now. Maybe we've seen like an attempt at some adjustments where Serendipity has been there to try and catch and receive that aggression, but it's not been so successful. And a little bit different this time. What? AMC was posted on that angle, and Empathy wins the shot. I can't believe it. Empathy about to grab another one. Fox hits the victory over towards ramp, and low HP for spamzzy too. How? Supernova Comets come away with such ridiculous advantages. 5-on-3.
And this time they've got their spring in their step. They haven't just stalled out of the round with the advantage and just paused and kind of given Marca Registrada an opportunity to get back into the round. They've just ridden that wave of momentum all the way into the B-bomb site. Finally, blood drawn for spamzzy, but surely too little too late. OT3 about to take center stage. Unless Majestics and spamzzy can do the unthinkable, but it's just impossible. No way back for spamzzy on such low health. Supernova Comets throwing caution to the wind. It's going to be enough to get the job done to see the light of day in OT3.
Spamzzy put to bed early on that one. I do really love that adjustment. I was just highlighting how, you know, you're absolutely right. The Comets have come under some fire for becoming a little bit too one-dimensional. Well, how about that for another dimension? Facilitate the fight out in yard. Crazy. The Empathy. She's got an AK, and AMC's posted with an op, and she wins that fight. That is absurd from Empathy. And she's alone in yard. That is one of the reasons that round works so well. And then you put Fox in position with the boost to take that duel towards ramp. One that they really haven't used all OT number 2.
Perfect time to bring it to the table. They find success and they'll breathe a massive sigh of relief as a result. Marca Registrada, well, they've now had 2 chances, haven't been able to take either of them. Majestics does find the first kill outside though. Big shift in the direction from Supernova Comets, this time emphasis on inside.
I mean, they almost don't have any choices anymore. That's Empathy. I said, and I kind of highlighted last round, how important she was because of how alone she was in yard. It's gone the other way this time. Supernova Comets, they got to go ramp, and they've got to go now.
And they will. Straight into AMC's off. Catches STX in transition. That's a really good kill. And should they still go down and towards the B bomb site, but you've got a... No, who do you have that's here? It's B1. B1 in position in the corner. Tough to multi-kill from here, but he doesn't even have to. Even 1 kill, which should be enough to just lock in the round. Spotted. Fragged. Okay, good kill comes through, but his teammates have arrived on the scene in time.
Yeah, it's that pace issue that you've kind of highlighted a couple of times that Supernova Comets can fall into, of where they understand where they need to go, but they don't do it fast enough. It buys a ton of time for the rotations to come back in, and then by the time they actually start fighting, Marca Registrada have 3 players there on B. It's a site that is a dream to hold if you have 3 players there.
Oh yeah, it's so difficult for the T's to try and break those sort of crossfires. And Marca Registrada will open up their account first in OT3 again, just kind of peel ahead. How much gas is there left in the tank here, Vincent, who can keep their composure right at the tail end of this map? Marca Registrada fighting tooth and nail to get this into Ancient, but Supernova Comets just never saying die.
I think I'm only really concerned if we get towards Ancient for Supernova Comets with the amount of time that's been put into this map. I think until we see that, everyone's primed and ready. They know what's on for this one, and look at the reaction. Oh no. It was set up perfectly, but a missed shot, a rarity for Fox, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter. Empathy just creates chaos out in yard. A fantastic frag from spamzzy, but I don't think that changes the equation for this round all that much. They just got to get across, and spamzzy knows it, but that is true for the Supernova Comets as well.
Very good kill back. Majestics, even though he fluffs the flash, is still going to be able to find a kill anyway. Not a great smoke in heaven. It's actually plumed quite a lot into the bomb site. Majestics looked like he might have considered making a play through the smoke. Instead, he's going to wait for B1. Player advantage here for Supernova Comets to try and level up the scoreline once again.
Well, great that STX gets away with that. She's going to have to eat that nade, but that's just fine. New smoke refreshed as Majestics takes contact once again. Up ahead of the molly, but it's Fox who's right on display. B1. I mean, time has really expired on this. He'll give it a go. Why not? Hope that they leave early, that they give him a chance. No chance given, and he'll just take his op and run.
Okay, well, Supernova Comets have done it. Been able to keep their opponents within arm's reach. Next one's for the lead. Despite that missed shot there from Forks, I mean, AMC kind of ends up with egg on his face because he misses 2 shots on Empathy, who comes through that smoke grenade. And this is where, like I was saying earlier, who can keep their composure? We've played a lot of Counter-Strike. We played, what, 38 rounds of Counter-Strike up until this point? A map preceding this? It's all about who can keep their head. So you don't have to be super detailed and methodical and have a huge amount of depth to your approach. Trading efficiently, making good decisions, good util usage, finding opening kills, and then converting. That's all you got to do well right now.
Registrada go back into the same play. We've seen it before, but to be honest, Supernova Comets didn't exactly look prepared for it last time. Now they are so prepared, so ready. AMC not seen, and the last time they ran this, I don't think AMC was spotted either. So this could still be good. spamzzy's getting into position to play off of AMC as well. Contact made. spamzzy hits the shot, and Serendipity gets hers before she falls, but another shot for AMC. He's got them both and puts them to bed. It is a victory there, and 2 rounds, at least for this half, for Marca Registrada. But in the past, that has not been enough.
spamzzy does so well in that round there, man. The kill through the smoke grenade to bring it back into a 4v4, and he's not content with that either. They just continue to make moves. AMC crunching in from ramp, while spamzzy pushes through the squeaky smoke. He takes the contact, gets a kill, allows for AMC to get in on the action as well. Just huge confidence from Marca Registrada to make those sorts of plays in such an important round.
Back to the double up. A lot of nades firing down out in yard, trying to break open these smokes, but STX actually in a 4th position. Oh, missed shot from Fox. That might, I was gonna say, set STX up, but it's the opposite. Majestic looks and finds exactly what he's looking for. There might be a little gap. Yes, there is.
Oh, shot there from Forks, man. Majestic's looking to try and jiggle, but slightly overexposes himself and costs him his life. Orp's doing work here in this round. Jardani's Orp is letting loose as well. A multi-kill through from him earns a man advantage for his team.
Yeah, that's the attempt to get back aggressive into lobby. Serendipity making some really proactive moves. Love to see that. Jardani could be caught, and now all the eyes are on Fox. But the problem is for Jardani, he doesn't know. Right now, he's in trouble.
No.
Oh no, Serendipity, she didn't know. Up the up. Jardani, he's not the AWP player, but he's got 3 op kills in this round. And it's another 4K required for Fox in order to pick up the clutch.
And this is never going to be expected from Jardani. I mean, Forks might actually be close enough to hear the drop down. as she starts to walk back in towards the A-bomb site. Oh, Jardani gonna catch a glimpse there. Oh, Forks has the info. Forks ahead of the molly, out in the open, scoped up, shot connected from Forks again. You can bet on it.
I mean, how's that for another clutch? Fox, multiple times now in overtime, she's been required to do nearly it all. 4 kills and a 1v1 to close it. Clutch after clutch for the Comets.
Clutch after clutch indeed. 40 rounds of Counter-Strike played, and the end, well, it is in sight, but it could be like a mirage. The closer you get to the end, the further away it gets from you. My
no
word.
point have we seen a perfect half either.
Yeah,
Tight
true.
the whole way through.
2-1s back and forth.
MC
And again,
dead,
this is
surely.
another one of those rounds, right? You win this, you get yourself a map point. Could be a series point for Supernova. Comets Majestics is further forward than what they're going to expect on the CT side, but no. Empathy will connect on the shot anyway.
Surely Fox.
Oh my,
Able to
Fox, you're so
connect.
brave. That's insane.
Truly. And STX, I love that decision. Just get out. Fortunately, Fox can hit that first, but cannot continue to survive. Oh, and STX, I don't think she knows.
No, certainly not. Spamzzy hears the drop down, but doesn't have the timing.
Well, now it's okay. Serendipity down B. There's certainly some indication for the Comets that they could be down here.
Oh, Spamzzy, so quick on the trigger. Instant headshot into Serendipity. And that's the man advantage. However, if they are going to end B, they're still going to have to try and find a way to get the bomb down. Jardani is just patiently waiting, though. Raven makes the move straight into the scope, and Marca Registrada on course to get yet another map point.
And STX going to pay the price for the fact that they don't get there. What a spam! The turn almost makes the difference. I cannot believe that she hit the spray transfer, but no. Victory burned alive is STX.
And as a result, that's Marca Registrada who get themselves up to map point. Again, 1 map point is all they'll have here in overtime. Our 3rd set of overtime. And in all of them, it's been Marca Registrada who have come away with 1 series point. They haven't converted the 2 prior. Will this be the one where they finally get the job done?
3 OTs. 3 chances to close.
Surely this is the one, right? It looks like it might very well be off the back of the kills that have come through. 5v3. Supernova Comets might finally flounder.
I mean, it's a struggle right now for Serendipity. CX gonna have to come up massive on the ramp. Double naded. She's now low. And it doesn't get easier from here. Even gonna get the drop. Raven's timing, if they end up going B, is actually gonna be decent. But actually, she doesn't take it. Still worried that there might be a pivot back towards the A site. Understandably so.
This feels next to impossible for Supernova Comets. 5v3. STX is down low. It's going to require some sort of a Herculean effort from them. AMC in the corner. Does get read into by STX, but then Raven dies immediately afterwards. Compounds the problems. Forks is AWP alive, but not for much longer. And STX with only 22 health is going to surely stand no chance. Oh, it's been a great effort from Supernova Comets. They had their chances. 12-9 up. 1v1. Couldn't get it done. And Marca Registrada punish.
Yeah, 3 chances for the Comets to close that in 2, and it takes 3 overtimes in order for Marca Registrada to get that same number of chances. But on number 3, they convert and they take this second. Are strong if they're back and they've been able to reset. I think I have faith in them.
Well, the one bonus that they have got is they've won the knife round, so they're going to start on the favorable side of the map, all 3 maps in the series. They start a T side Anubis, CT side Nuke. They were kind of gifted that.
That's
And they're going to
crazy.
get to start on the CT side of Ancient here as well. But you're right, that is the big question. What sort of state are they going to be in? And we were kind of chatting in the break before we got back live once again. We said, Supernova Comets, I mean, they were up 9-0 on Anubis, up 12-9 on Nuke, and there's now a world where they could get eliminated in the first hurdle in this qualifier all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think that would be really, really sad for me to kind of see that, especially off the back of how well they were able to do in Dallas. And for me, they need to seize the moment And
Yeah,
you know,
build on that in the new season here, yeah.
this qualifier is not the end-all be-all. I'm not painting it to be, but what I am saying is that it would be a tragedy to see them go immediately.
Okay, well, they've actually chosen to start on the T side of Ancient Chat, interestingly enough. Maybe they want to try and continue to dictate the pace and the tempo of the game early on here. They're going through middle. They've smoked off the B side of Red Room, and they're wrapping around through CT. We've seen that they like their round, they will pistol strats, and it's going to work out again here on Ancient as well.
Yeah, I mean, Majestics is in a tough spot. AMC is coming back in through Donut, but I think he's pretty much crap out of luck on this one. 1v5 is the attempt that he's about to go for health, and it's only exits. Extra $300 is what he's going to walk away with. And it is the round the world victory for Supernova Comets. Here's the thing. T-side start, as you highlight, well, it's the same puzzling situation. If you look at the stats, Supernova Comets, they are better on T-side. This is true.
Okay, so it's a tendency, clearly. Yes, they're keen to play into that as well. They're not going to kind of just go by what the default suggests. Empathy is doing it again, though, Vincent. She's doing it again where she's gone through with the default pistol, and Marca Registrada have forced bought here, as was the case on Anubis. We saw the exact same thing from her there. It didn't cost her at all because her team just basically won the round, but it could be an issue here this time around.
Yeah, I don't know. I really wish if you're going to do this, you have a Tech 9 or something. Like, if you're really doing the Valorant, like, they have the equivalent of a Tech 9. So this is not the reason that this round is lost, but aggression out at A, down B. It all goes in Marca Registrada's direction.
It's just weird because she's not the AWPer. Like, if you ever see that, it's normally the AWPer who goes for that option. It's going to be a cleanup from the force buy. Raven finally gets a kill back, and sure, there's damage done, but I don't think they know how much damage has been done exactly. And the bomb's in full control of the CT side. I mean, Mission Impossible looks easier than this.
I mean, even if the damage were relevant, I think how to even use that to your advantage, given the positioning here that Raven's working with.
Yeah, they set up so well. And there we go. B1 will be able to seal the deal. That is an uninspiring round from Supernova Comets. They just get run over against the force buy. Yeah,
and to be clear, I really don't think that the way that we've seen those, like, second round after the pistol win from Empathy, like, mattered that much right there. I think it's just more of an external conversation. What's pretty surprising is how unprepared Supernova Comets were for how aggressive Marca Registrada were that round. Just everybody pushing, basically, the entire way through, on both extremities of the map at the same time.
Yeah, it's a good point, kind of just overcooking the pooch in that sort of a round there from Supernova Comets. You've got to know, if you're playing a force or an eco, there's probably going to be some sort of aggression. Speaking of aggression, Serendipity with the Tech 9 does affect a trade, but B1's here now to support Jardani. So 2 rifles in position, and it's going to be well placed. Can Jardani double down? Absolutely. Fantastic multi from him on low health.
Ooh, if Fox just cuts sound, but she's not going to do that. Never mind. Won't be able to connect onto Majestics. What I was saying is that if Fox actually cut sound, the push from AMC was going all the way up into like elbow at that point. So Marca Registrada were super separated, and they didn't have a ton of, like, information about where that was going. So if Fox could have found a way to just cut sound a little bit and just play that out on a slower pace, I think there was a chance to dice up those duels. That's not how it goes down. And Majestics puts the finishing touches on round 3.
And they should be able to add a third to their tally with relative ease as well. Not much of an investment to speak of, in fact. Just the one-hand cannon in play here for Empathy. We saw a lot of front foot play from Marca Registrada on their CT side of Nuke. A lot of rounds where they were looking to take the fight outside underneath silo. Lots of plays being made through squeaky, pushes through ramp as well. I wonder if that's going to be a similar sort of tendency here on Ancient 2.
Speaking of,
seemed that way so far.
Speaking of tendencies that you've been talking about, tendency for the Comets as well to kind of go this 4-1 route. I think I'm already seeing a little bit of that right now on Ancient, so keep your eyes peeled in that regard. This one in eco, so you're not super concerned.
Might be now, a little bit, not super, but still maybe slightly. Forks with the M4 inflicts further damage. Gonna look to close the gap here. If she could land one more 1D, that would be quite something indeed to potentially hammer this round home. Jardani, I don't think he's going to be expecting this backstab. It's just all about the timing for Forks right now, wrapping around the site. She's lost her teammates, and they're able to piece it together. Hang on, we haven't gotten the kill on Forks. Has to be in towards the back of the site.
Yeah, very smart. I think that you kind of understand. You hit tab as well and see, okay, who is left? Who is this, right? And when Fox is opening the round like that, there's really only one corridor for her to be taking the next steps towards, and the double swing, even on low health. Intelligent way to handle that for Marca Registrada. So it is the 3 rounds as predicted. Supernova Comets have weapons this time. And crucially doing a little bit of econ damage too, even in that eco.
Yeah, and this is where we start to kind of get some of our questions answered about what the form's going to look like for Supernova Comets coming into Ancient. Brutal usage initially. Jardani decides to force his way through the smoke. That's going to cost him his life, but at least he's able to get a kill before he inevitably goes down. And they decide against committing anything further. Wisely so. That could have been costly.
Yeah, I think Majestic's stepping back, the right move. Well, now they know a little bit about what's here in wait. This could be a perfect time to hit B. Majestics is so very alone.
And Marca Registrada are going to start to figure that out as they venture back in towards middle. Perhaps you could see B1 looking to try and pad up the defense over towards this B bomb site. Still a healthy amount of utility here for the exec, and Supernova Comets not going to run into any resistance. Or will they?
That's a nice flash. It does actually stall them a little bit. Smoke's a little too late. Serendipity pays the price. Bomb available to get planted, but they got to get it across first and foremost. Need to break up in the short smoke. Unseen, and oh, okay, well, it goes both ways. Empathy spam onto spamzzy. Very successful. Now STX in a prime post-plant position. Fox a little bit exposed.
Oh, Majestics and B1 combined really nicely. They spotted out the other players in the caves. The info's available. Empathy out in the open in ramp. To be able to find one. STX breaks the smoke, but Majestic says thank you very much as he takes full advantage.
I mean, you got to give it over to Majestics. The amount of time that he bought, like, every decision that he made in this round was a good one. Didn't go through the smoke in cave, ends up, falling back a little bit, then plays with his spam through the smoke in order to slow the Comets down a little bit. Not only that, his flashbang plays delay, and then he even gets the kill into Serendipity in order to then wait for his team to bring it back in. He collects 2 of the 3 on that retake. What a round from Majestics. That is the whole package.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds where you could just, like, flip the round and highlight all of the really important key decisions he makes throughout that round. He takes here from the max 10. Majestics through the smoke does a lot of damage. Last few bullets will connect. Empathy, yeah, didn't really have that window of opportunity to try and go through the smoke to get the trade, and the wall bang will actually be enough. And I was going to highlight Empathy didn't have head armor coming into the round. She just went for Kevlar. I think it's just always worth spending the extra $350 if you're going to go for that hero rifle.
I mean, I think that's certainly a fair argument. Same time, would be basically everything. And with the loss bonus what it is, she's still going to be able to afford something next round despite that investment. So maybe that's the thought process. Regardless, split the map a little bit here. Serendipity. Going to get there.
Oh, my.
AMC... I'm a little concerned at how committed he was. I don't understand why he wasn't aware of that gap, but it's not over yet. B1's still here, and the crunch is just not available. Raven going to get a bomb plan out of this. Very likely.
She wants to scoop up the orb first by the look of things, and then may even consider wrapping the entire way around back into the A bomb site.
I mean, this is smart. If they're not here, then they're definitely flanking.
And they had no idea where Raven was either, so she's been able to slip the net. She's going to get a good head start on the round. Marca Registrada starts to venture back into this B bomb site, but I don't think they're going to expect this at all. And Raven has read it perfectly here. Bomb plant guaranteed and a post plant position of her choice.
Yeah, she can go anywhere. Literally whatever she wants to do. And good news for Marca Registrada that they stick together, but Raven's going to start hearing this. Oh, that first shot, it was required, I say! The Deagle comes out and Raven spams away for the frag and the round. The Raven 1v2. She is a clutch minister. That might be her 4th clutch over the series.
Yeah, she's done it again here, delivered the goods for her team when they needed the most. A really smart play to just shift off of that B bomb site, go for the unorthodox approach, get over to A, smokes off Donut, but then recognizes that she can't just sit back and allow for them to come to her. She takes the fight, she takes the initiative, and that's not even really what wins her the round, because she misses that first shot, and I'm thinking, okay, you've missed your opportunity. But she hits that follow-up shot, fades back into the corner, goes for the Desert Eagle, and finishes off from there, but we don't have any time to discuss that round. We'll be straight into the next. A big exec as the A bomb site's been stifled.
Yeah, Giordani putting them to bed one by one. That's a nasty hold between Giordani and Spamzzy and AMC. Marca Registrada, I actually like that call from Supernova Comets. You know, you have the momentum of that, and honestly, you continue that with the aggressive A play. The tragedy is that Marca Registrada were super prepared. I mean, they had 2 players there and a fast rotator.
And they also just get the instant kill, right, to just slow down the attack, thin the players out as they make their way forward. And we were posing the question coming into this map about what sort of a level we were going to get out of Supernova Comets in particular, off the back of losing Nuke in triple OT fashion. Normally it's okay at the start of the map because you've had that reset between maps, but you can start to feel that effect exponentially come back to life when you fall behind in that decider. This is where those cracks from Nuke that have been papered over might start to come into play once again.
Yeah, it's always going to be sitting in the back of your mind, that inkling of, you know, we shoulda, we probably woulda been able to, but we didn't.
And you just don't have the same sort of energy that you would have had otherwise. That's great from Force. Dead every day of the week. The play at the bottom or middle, Giordani somehow again will just come away with an unlikely multi-kill. Still gonna have to be a retake here from Marcus Registrada though, so they're gonna have to proceed with caution. And it looks like they've done enough.
I mean, Empathy 10 in the chamber here. Wait a second. So very low though, and already out of bullets means that B1 will handle this one. Gets the defuse off nicely enough. I want to highlight Giordani there for a moment because I feel like he's kind of an unsuspecting individual with regard to this Marca Registrada team. Certainly not like the #1 or probably the #2 guy that you would think of on this team, but I was really impressed with his lurking on Nuke and how effective he was in these big moments. And you know, it wasn't just that either. On the T side, he was good on the lurks, but on the CT side, he was so consistently flexible, able to play the opener, able to be the closer, able to, you know, have those late round moves. I felt like he had the whole package on Nuke, and it seems like that's continuing.
Yeah, it's a really good point that you make, and I'm glad you highlight him as well. I feel like he was very active on his lurks. I think that was one of the key factors. Look at this, talking about active from Giordani. No lurk in this round. He's the tip of the spear charging forward, but he's been cut right down at the legs. STX going to be the next point. 10 shifts 1 walking towards STX. Kind of catches STX off guard, and in the meantime, AMC finds a kill as well. Man advantage for the CT side all of a sudden until Empathy gets in on the act as well.
It's a little bit of a frustrating moment for Supernova Comets because Marca Registrada, they activated a trap card there in Cave. Thought that STX, she was just dealing with one player, and instead, even as that molly comes through, stuck with 2. Great find from Fox. That's going to make this no longer an even playing field. It's Marca Registrada down below. And AMC, wow, what a shot onto Empathy. Catches the perfect timing. They both stack towards B, but that's true for the T's as well.
Yeah, but you may never expect spamzzy here as well because of AMC's position and the state of the round. AMC smokes off Cave and pushes through his own smoke. spamzzy can't deny the plant, but he does find the frag on the planter, and Forks Supernova gonna expect this flank to come through. AMC with some brilliant decision making. I mean, that really quick fire frag initially, and then just smoking it off and going through his own smoke. A stroke of brilliance there from him.
It's the fact that spamzzy's already on the site, is already back square,
Yes.
and can get to long. That's what allows him the confidence to make that play through. He has to play for the round previously when he's alone, but now when spamzzy arrives, he can make his own move and allow for spamzzy to be the backup plan. That's what gives him that confidence and capability. I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
Very good decision making.
And spamzzy was also enabled by AMC getting that kill and taking the attention in towards Cave, right? Like you say, it really sells his position beautifully. So they actually just play contact off of each other brilliantly in that round.
I said that I would know kind of where Supernova Comets are at. Right now, they're struggling. Oh, what a flash.
Oh,
what a move. Majestics has backup, but what a reaction. Empathy, able to cut them both down. Empathy has made some of these rounds that probably shouldn't even be close into viable options and opportunities for Supernova Comets, and she's done it again.
She done enough though. B1 brings Forks down as low as 3 points of health, and he'll finish off that frag as well. It was looking good for Supernova Comets off the back of the Supernova effort from Empathy. But it might still be in vain, and AMC is expected to be in towards the back of the site. It doesn't matter because he's missed the shot, and Serendipity will punish.
I mean, that's another situation. Supernova Comets have been great in the clutch basically the whole series. That's 2 of their 3 rounds going in clutch fashion, and beyond that, Serendipity with that big step-up moment that I was talking about, where I think she was unfortunately falling behind on Nuke. Seems not the case on Ancient, and that's what I was just about to say. Check in on the question of, you know, how do Supernova Comets look? Do they look like they've been affected? Honestly, I can't tell all that well. I'm not that sure. I feel like we've seen some moments of brilliance and then some moments of problems, but mostly due to Marca Registrada rather than Supernova putting in a bad performance.
Well, they've actually got a very realistic chance of making the 7-5 all of a sudden, which would actually be a really good halftime scoreline considering they were down 7-2 at one point. Got the opening kill. Wouldn't be any money for Marca Registrada going into that next round either. AMC smoke fades, leaves him exposed, and Empathy is on point right now. Problem is Supernova Comets have somewhat had the door closed in on them right now, so they're going to get funneled into this B-bomb side.
Funneled in and into Majestic's hands, but he's only good for the singular. spamzzy and Jardani. Here's that lurk I was kind of talking about. Jardani now alone. Fox is about to pay the price. That should give them the heads up. Oh no, Jardani has hit the double. In cave, it's not ideal. It's sort of playing for Serendipity. We'll just take a couple of pot shots and low HP. It's enough to pull that one off. Listen, just because I'm a stat fiend, though, I do want to point out that's another 1v1 clutch.
Yeah, you're good, right. You're bang on the money there, technically speaking. I mean, it was a 3v1, but it does come down to the 1 versus 1. Just so many clutches, and my concern for Supernova Comets I've kind of had in the back of my head the entire time is, what if they run out of this clutch ability? But, I mean, that's just not proven to be a problem right now. They've still got it in them, even after being pushed and tested as much as they have been throughout this series so far.
I want to point out it's a valid concern you have, but yeah, the proof is in the pudding right now. And that is that they keep making it work. Really tough purchase right now for Marca Registrada. MP9s at best, pistols for the rest. Is what they are currently working with. Spacing here is a little bit tough.
Ooh. Jardani,
Wow.
oh, he's doubled down. There was a bit of a false sense of security because Serendipity had kind of peaked but not fully committed to the angle. Both herself and Empathy go down, and AMC has doubled down in the meantime. Oh, Supernova Comets. That was a really good chance of making it 7-5, but now 8-4.
singing, and my eyes are blurred. Feel so absurd. Lost all control, and my speech is slurred. I can't find the words, the ones that make you turn around and tell me it's alright. A little bit more to keep me going. Feels like my feet have left the ground. Oh, nothing can hold me down. There's nothing I can do. Baby, I'm telling you the truth. And if I can't be with you, take my heart. You knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing all along. Tried to disappear. You can't find me. You can't find me here. Soon the world will be far behind. I tried to get away, but you keep sending me a sign. Oh, baby, there's nothing I can do. Baby, I'm telling you the truth. You always keep me on my toes. Don't wanna keep on going.
It's not exactly a perfect first half for the Supernova Comets, but to be honest with you, wasn't the case over on Nuke either, and yet they had the first 3 opportunities to close that one out. Couldn't make it happen. Now it's for all the marbles. Elimination on the line, and 1 half of Counter-Strike between us and that.
Oh my, and they're not going to be pulling any punches coming into the pistol. It's pretty good there from the T side to still keep things level. spamzzy gets the reload off, but won't be afforded his life, although B1 will arrive on the scene. Forks is still committed. B1 knows that. In the meantime, Jardani's already in A. He's coming through Donut. Forks, has she heard a footstep? Looks like she has an idea this could be the case. Backing up, she's now spotted Jardani, who will force the issue, find the frag, but has to do more and won't be able to. It's Raven again.
It's all about the dualies, baby. We've been talking about the clutches and everything. It's 5 kills from those dualies, 2 pairs of them across the Comets. And yeah, as you highlight, Raven, another 1v1 clutch right there. Ridiculous scenes as Supernova Comets do pick up the pistol. They picked up the first half pistol, though, too, but it didn't give them the victory. Marca Registrada
4 of their 5 rounds now from clutches, man.
Yep, and then the other one's the pistol.
We'll keep racking them up. Towards the bomb clutch from Marca Registrada. He trades the name of the game. Good job there to get the kill on STX without losing B1 in the process. He's so incredibly low. Nade will finish him off. Retake looks really good right now. At least there's a bomb plot to the side. Can they get more?
I mean, stuck in here, they just flood together. Shouldn't be possible. And spamzzy, the fact that he pulls back 1, gets $600 extra with the Mac 10 is good news. And with that bomb plant, they're definitely going to keep buying. I say definitely, but it's Marca Registrada. They've done nothing but buy. Like, it's got to be the case.
And this is one of the instances where it actually makes a whole lot more sense to keep buying. So surely, right? Yeah, thankfully, sanity will prevail. Because if this was the one round where they did decide to save, then I wouldn't even know what's real anymore.
It would feel very silly, put it that way. Not the victory, but still a big chunk of damage done and wins, at least economically, in that round. They catch a windfall to Marca Registrada.
Yeah. Yeah, if they win this round here, Supernova obviously back to square 1 in the second half, down 9-6 with no money. end could be kind of closer than it looks at that point. So still need to proceed with caution. And it's a pretty even buy coming into this round as well, just in terms of firepower. Oh, that's messy. That's so messy from Serendipity and Jardani, but eventually Jardani comes out on top of that kill, and that's a massive advantage as a result.
These Khalil's just so fantastic. STX, though, she's been doing very well on B already. Now needs a third frag. Seems like such a huge ask, and in one magazine with the SMG, you can't even really be disappointed in the fact that she doesn't get that third. Fox,
Oh, yeah.
how you feeling about this 1v3?
You gotta save, I think, unless you get offered something up, which is kind of what she's hoping for. But yeah, you look at the finances, they get $1,400. So folks could drop an M4. Outside of that, you're not getting any more rifles. I mean, maybe a FAMAS in the round, but Marca Registrada, the persistence with the investments is going to pay off.
And for the first time, basically all series, too. You know, we talked about how consistently
actually,
Marca Registrada have gone for this tactic where they are consistently trying to buy as much as possible, keep up the economic pressure. It's only now, in both the first half of Ancient and now the second, that they have been able to take advantage of that it's been successful. So, you got to give it to them. Props for consistency. They got a plan and they stuck to it. It's finally working.
Problem for Supernova Comets here, mates, is if they lose this round, then the end is just around the corner, because it's going to be 10-6, no money. Should be 11-6. No room for error at that point.
I think I actually really like this buy decision. I think that their money good enough where they can get, you know, an extra M4. The MP9s are actually really good on this map, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they saw that 2 additional players lost their lives there at the bomb explosion. So, not only for the reasons that you kind of highlight how important this next round is, but also the possibility that they smell blood in the water, thinking we can probably break Marca Registrada.
At the same time, though, if Marca Registrada win this round 10-6, no money for Supernova Comets, and they are then on the brink of losing the game. So it's a fine margin here once again. Let's see what this 16th round on Ancient has in store for us.
You don't
fighting tooth and nail to see the light of day in that next round.
Well, look at the stack towards B here. 4 players off the rip. They just want to get down and up in their face. Raven takes one. Unfortunately for her, she's the only one to find success in that aggressive stance. Empathy tries to move forward, but it's a flub on the spray. It's all gone wrong, and STX is going to be somewhat unknown. Well, never mind. Resmoke will give her up.
How do Marca Registrada go about their business in the 4 versus 2 here? I mean, the world really their oyster, although Forks is going to start to close the door in on them, scaling up the boxes. Does she decide to face or just try and keep them locked in? You've got STX and Jag as well. I actually really like the setup because they're able to play off of each other all of a sudden. As I say that though, STX will reposition. And the longer they take, perhaps Supernova Comets start to get concerned. They've gone back through T-spawn, but that's not the case. They're just taking their time, and the wall bang will get the kill. B1's been felled though, and he had the bomb, so they're going to have to go back to collect.
But Fox takes a step too far forward, and that exposes her to both Jardani and to the other side of that equation down ramp. Yeah, I think that unfortunately, someone had to make a move, and I think Fox had to be the one to take the first step, not STX, in that moment. Marca Registrada play a patient game, or they just wait and wait until they find a little bit more of an advantage than what they already have in 4v2. Well played.
And now they're on the brink of going up 11-6. Shouldn't be much of a chance for Supernova Comets. I do like that they're going for something out of the ordinary with the big group up over on the B-bomb site, cheerleader stack.
Yeah.
Surprised that nade doesn't do more damage to a few more players. It's almost like Serendipity jumped on the nade there to protect her teammates and shielded them.
It does almost look like that's what happened. Yeah, I like the stack as well. I just don't think it necessarily end up providing all that much in this one.
Whoa. Okay, never mind. I thought that could get ugly for a second, but it all works out. Please stick on the CTs decide
What?
something to take, and yeah, the lack of armor there makes it very difficult for Empathy, but they'll take the 2 kills at a minimum.
Bro, I'm really concerned at that decision from spamzzy to just fight. Like he had the bomb that could have given given empathy, excuse me, away into the round, but I guess all's well that ends well. My worries swept aside.
Oh man, but Supernova Comets worries are becoming probably borderline panic at this point. They were up 9-0 at one point on the first map on their opponent's map pick. 12-9 on Nuke Round. I remind everyone, and look at this from the T side, charging relentlessly into the B-bomb side.
And this is exactly what Supernova Comets wanted to call on their T side, but it didn't work. It works brilliantly for Fox to grab 2. There was a chance at a third. Wait a second. Empathy and Serendipity have arrived. AMC taking big damage through, but it's no finalization. Both are here. And what do you mean? Serendipity, absurd. She isolates another. Serendipity has so much done. And with Empathy right around the corner, they might be low, but spamzzy not all that healthy. And it's Empathy to put that one together. Another clutch up. And that is ridiculous from Serendipity.
Yeah, what a moment coming through from her there to find the multi-kill to basically just win the round for her team. I mean, the lineup in the smoke there, the perfect timing on the spam, and then that hard swing on the player on short, man, just sends him into another dimension. I do appreciate the approach from Marca Registrada in that sort of a round when you know you have your opponents against the ropes, but unfortunately it goes in vain.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the call.
Supernova Comets, a key round.
It wasn't the call to go fast B there that was bad or that didn't go correctly.
No, not at all.
It was Fox having an incredibly heroic performance there, 2 kills in defense of B as the last standing defender, and then Serendipity with an absurd double kill, and Empathy, the finishing touches on the clutch. That is, everything had to go perfectly, Hayes, for that to work.
And it did. But that is one round of many required. It's going to be another skirmish in towards middle. And it's going to be 2 for the price of 1. Majestic takes a lot of damage in the process. STX trying to get in on it as well. And she affects for 1. But it's Forks who's actually found 2 in the meantime. And it's AMC left alone in the clutch.
Man, Fox has had so many impact moments throughout this series. And she's just added 2 more to her tally. I think it's going to be a big surprise if he ends up going down ramp. That Raven is so close there. Thankfully, he routes through cave instead. Fox taking some time to clear out mid and investigate further up on the shelf. And I think Raven's positioning, like I said before, likely to be the biggest win to stop this 1v2.
Bang on the money, right? Just never expected by MC at all. Good timing in the internal clock there of Raven to turn around from ramp and get back into the B-bomb site. And look at the money now. This is going to have to be an eco round for the T side. Marca Registrada just, unfortunately, kind of stumbling. And that means Supernova will close the gap.
Yeah, I had a 5th 1v1 there at the end to get Supernova back into it. It's the case over on Nuke. It's the case here on Ancient as well. This one should be a little bit easier. I say should be, but these rounds have honestly not been all that easy for the Comets as a whole.
What I will say is we were certainly asking the question about what sort of a level we were going to get from Supernova Comets coming into Ancient off the back of the triple OT loss on Nuke. If they fall behind as far as they did on this map and actually still manage to make the comeback happen and win the map, that would completely go against the grain of what you would expect from a team who have kind of gone through the ringer the way that Supernova Comets have, right? Like that would be the most impressive outcome.
Yeah, especially when, talking about some very tough losses from a lead, talked about that legacy game. That was also on Nuke where they had a big lead and unfortunately couldn't close it. That's happened a couple of more high-profile times. I think this would be a step forward for Supernova Comets if they were able to pull it off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the round, really. If the T-side lose this, 10-11 should be 11 all off the back of the anti-eco. They've had a lot of breathing room up until this point, but the walls are starting to close in on them.
Should be. I'm not loving the fact that STX has an MP9 this round, but
Yeah, it's a good question, or a good point to pose, I suppose.
I actually think she's had like 6 MP9 kills. So maybe I'm just making stuff up, but for how important this round is, that's the point that I'm making.
Yeah, you also mentioned earlier on CT side Ancient, you can generally get away with the MP9, especially when you're playing here in towards Jag. Kind of play into the strength of the gun. You have to repositions where it can be tough, and she's going to look to try and fight forward at the back of the flash. Big wide swing effectively does get a kill through a team frag, and it's going to be follow-up aggression. I mean, Supernova Comets continue to throw numbers at the situation, but they'll walk away a player down.
I mean, it's really on the Raven now. She's got to make a proactive play. The contain is here. Fox has their escape. I say that. Oh my goodness, Fox is taking such a forward position with an op.
This is brazen. Oh, when they've gone back to check as well. Ford stepped out in the open, and it's going to be Raven by herself. She gets caught off guard as well. Marca Registrada, from being down 0-9 on Anubis, have fought the entire way back to a decider. And they've got 3 map and series points available to them.
I mean, it's almost poetic, isn't it? It's the number that they took in order to close on Nuke. It's the number that the Comets had their opportunity to find that Nuke victory that would have put Marca Registrada out of this competition, out of contention for Pro League. Now it's that number of chances that they have to do the same to their opposition over on Supernova Comets.
It's definitely poetic, but in a tragic sort of way if you're a Comets fan. Some sort of a Shakespearean tragedy here, man. Oh, pots and pans pieced together by the CT side to try keep themselves in the hunt. And remember, everybody, this is just the first of 2 games for the day here on the stream. Or was it second or 3? I think there was some matches earlier on before this. We've got Lycus Empire against Chicken Coop coming up afterwards. I'm certainly looking forward to that matchup, man. But right here, right now, Marca Registrada on the brink.
Yeah, to be honest with you, that one was meant to be the prime time when I thought Supernova Comets would come away with this one a little bit easier. That's not become the case. I like the setup here. Supernova Comets set up towards B. Last time they kind of threw their bodies at the problem. This time there's a little bit more setup. Problem is, Marca Registrada, they're nowhere to be seen. They're execing A, all in the meantime. And, I mean, this is, you would argue, a retakeable bomb site. But with this weaponry, is that the case?
Weaponry, utility, 1 kit between them, and it's going to be a pretty one-dimensional retake at that as well, Vince, and they're all coming through CT right now, and time is ticking away. Time is off the essence. You still have a player deep in towards middle, but STX will offset the retake with the frag. Now they look to try and close the gap. Kills continues to come through. This is looking great for the Comets. They've found all the frag strength in numbers. There's only 1 man left remaining. B1, clues in the name. Can he find the frag on Empathy? Absolutely, but he can't kill the diffuser in time.
What a time, man. STX always in these big pressure moments that she finds a way to step back up and have these clutch attempts and moments for her team. It's she who leads the way over through Temple and gets them back onto that site, holds, puts trust in her teammate as well onto that diffuse. Singular kit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was the only kit they had in the round. Absolutely.
Marca Registrada.
My word.
They don't get it on the tip number 1. Their money now busted. It's not much better for the Comets, and they open up the B site again. STX, we need you once more. First frag is not hers, and AMC with that double opener towards B. This might be the finishing touches. Likely to, with Fox and Empathy coming back in. They get the spam, but they've only destroyed 1 of the 5 remaining Marca Registrada players.
My lord, how on earth do they breach back into this B bomb site, trying to go through the smoke? That only sets a foot into the site itself, and they won't even be allowed entry. Marca Registrada have done it. It was looking disastrous for them on that first map, on their map pick, but they're able to come out the gate swinging on Nuke, get the job done in triple overtime, and then in fairly smooth sailing fashion, finish off the job here on Ancient to keep themselves alive in the qualifier.